airplane mode?
Do not disturb.
Nice.
But
No, I get
just in case I need it for some reason.
Tammy just called, so it won't be her. It'll
His
be Ryan.
watch always goes off, and it's kind of special. It feels like it's sentimental to our podcast.
By the way, this is a brand new watch. I ran over my other one with the car.
How do
Did
you
you
even
really?
do that?
Yeah, that's the big question.
Like,
I
you're
had
coming out
on
of
the
the car, falls
charger in the
off.
car, and I got out of the car and I saw the watch on the charger. I pulled it out, and then I got interrupted. I put the watch on the roof of the car, and then I went to the fridge and got a Lonnie, came back, completely forgot about it, and I heard a thump and didn't even think about it. And then 2 days later, I go, man, I haven't seen my watch. And then I did the Find My Watch, and I called Tam. I said, is this at the house? She said, I can't hear anything, blah, blah, blah. And then I finally got home, and it walked me literally to the watch in this
broken
middle
watch
of
in
the
the
street.
driveway. Oh my gosh.
In the middle of the
That's
street.
so sad.
Yeah.
What kind of watch was it?
Okay.
Was it a nice
This one.
Oh, the
Exact
same, like
thing.
Apple Watch.
That's what I hate, going in and buying the exact same thing.
Yeah.
That hurts.
Yeah,
I
really
gotta
hurts, because
tell-
it wasn't even 3 months old. I
Oh.
had one for 7 years, and it was the battery was
And they're
literally
like, you should
dying
have got
on
the
it,
Apple
like, in
Care
an
Plus,
hour.
sir.
Well, I don't get the Apple Care.
So they probably pitched it after
That's a
that.
Dave thing, right? You don't get the...
Yeah, Dave says no warranties.
No
Yeah,
warranties
no
ever.
Just be rich enough you can just buy another one. That's Dave's mentality.
Okay.
All right.
I gotta tell everyone who's here. Okay, George Kamel, Dave Ramsey Personality, wrote an amazing book, Breaking Free from Broke. That's why he was just rambling about Dave and how much he loves him and how fantastic he is, right?
Oh, we kept that in.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
All right.
Yeah.
Love it.
We'll keep that in. I mean, why not? Your Apple Watch story.
Well, I love the title of the book because my kids used to ask us, are we poor? I go, no, we're broke, baby. We're American broke.
It's different.
Yeah, exactly.
Poor is a mindset. Broke is a reality.
That's
this
right.
is real.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically, his book is the Financial Peace University for like millennials.
The youths.
Yeah, and
The
it's
Utes.
it's really good. With the audiobook, it runs like a podcast. I really enjoy it. People should listen to it. It's phenomenal. But the reason you're really here is, again, like Deloney, you have a great job. You have health insurance. You have a beautiful child, a beautiful wife, a baby on the way. Why are you doing stand-up comedy?
Why would you risk all of that coming on
I
this
feel that.
podcast?
I'm going to call it a third life crisis.
A third? What was your first life crisis?
Well, I think the third is in like if I make it to 104.
Oh, like your third.
Yeah.
1/3 of your life crisis.
It's not a midlife. I don't want to say midlife. I don't want to limit, my
Your
health
life.
in that way.
Yeah.
But I do think it was Deloney's harebrained idea, and he has like connections. He's a good schmoozer. I don't have connections to go, hey, I'd like to do a comedy show, even though I've never done this before. So he was like, hey, we're gonna do a show. It's gonna be awesome. And I was like, okay. Like if Deloney's gonna promote it, he can sell 100 tickets. So I went, sure, I'm along for the ride. I've got some old material.
But
And
now
so-
you're doing it. He's doing it without Deloney. Like he's doing some rough local showcases.
Rough.
Like
Good for
he's
you,
in
man.
it.
Thank
I have a
you.
lot of respect for that.
I appreciate
I really
that.
do.
This is how it usually starts. You're a huge comedy fan, and you go, man, what would it be like to try that? Not like I could do that, but just more of like, I need to do that. Like a dark pulling toward it. Is that accurate?
That's a comedian.
That's it. And then the, I don't know if you're like me, but after bombing, the self-flagellation starts, and that's where the really joy of the craft begins,
Yes.
is when you can self-flagellate yourself all the way home.
That's a $10 word. I
What
like
the
that.
heck was I thinking? I hate myself so much.
Yeah, and that's the power of comedy. It's
And
like,
I've been doing that for over 50 years almost.
oh my goodness. Now you're seasoned.
That's the process.
You're like a cast iron skillet. You're like, that thing looks rusty. You're like, no, it's seasoned. It's perfect. Don't mess with it. Don't
Yeah.
clean it.
Yeah.
So that's what drew me to it. And then I went, I like the toiling and the creativity, and I think I've lost that in my current job, because a lot of what you do is, you got to make content, feed the beast, and get on the show and do these things. And comedy felt like an outlet to sort of get my brain back in a different mode.
Wait,
a
you
part
don't
that was
feel like answering financial questions multiple times a week for hours on end doesn't spark the creativity?
it scratches a different itch. It's very helpful, whereas comedy is the least helpful thing, other than the healing power of laughter. But you know what I mean? There's just a different vibe of just like, nobody needs me to like fix their life right now. You know what I mean? I can just try
Well, this
to
is an important
share.
question then for somebody that's a neophyte in the comedy world. can you distinguish the difference between laughing with and laughing at?
Oh, I am one of the more self-deprecating people out there. And so I can pretty easily tell because I'm inviting you to laugh at. But it is funny because there's a joke where I talk about growing up, I went to an Arabic Evangelical Baptist church, and people start laughing. And I'm like, no, that's the setup. Like, you can't laugh at my denomination. That's literally just a real religion. And so there's things that shocked me as I would, start to put these jokes out there. They're like, oh, they're laughing at the wrong parts, but that's part of comedy.
But don't people in the South, they just assume you're white all the time?
That's kind of what that's kind of my angle with the comedy of like I lean into this whole Middle Eastern thing because that's my background.
Oh, I didn't
And people
know
go, huh?
Did we do any vetting of him before he came
Zero.
in the studio? Zero.
Check my bag.
How did we miss that?
It's mostly hair products.
I had a very good friend of mine, a comic, Joby Sad, who's Lebanese.
Oh yeah.
And 9/11, we were talking right after. I was in Vegas when 9/11 happened, so I had a week later. I'm flying when they just opened the airports out. And I get pulled out and patted down and all of that. And I was complaining about it. And Joby goes, I get patted down every time. I go, you should. You're Lebanese, for God's sakes. They're doing their job.
Oh, that's amazing.
That's a joke, by the way. I don't need 100 emails talking about
No,
what a
but
big
literally
man.
yesterday I was at the airport. I was coming home and randomly selected. Every time I'm like, how is it random? Like you just saw my passport, the last name Kamel. You're telling me that wasn't part of the randomness?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a running joke because I look like I'm dripping with white privilege. But really, like, I have immigrant parents who, like, weren't born here.
Who I've met, and they are so
Lovely.
sweet.
Lovely,
They're
sweet
so
people.
Sweet. They're just like any Southern Baptist. She tried to give me a casserole. It was like a whole thing.
I forgot about that.
But I met your parents.
Yeah.
They were great.
Shocking. So, yeah, I think it is fun to laugh at, laugh with. I don't know. I just hope they laugh. Truly, I don't care
Yeah, I'll
which one
take
it
it.
is.
That's what I tell them.
I'll take it.
I'll tell them, you can patronize me anytime you want.
Yeah.
I mean, just suck up. I don't care.
What I found harder, though, is, like, to be confident in your self-deprecation to where they don't think you actually hate yourself. Because you need to have a certain level of ego and
No, then
confidence
there's a
to get
sense
out
of
there.
pity there. If they
Yeah.
truly believe that. My sister, you know of a comedian named Emo?
Oh,
Emo
yeah.
Phillips, right?
Yes.
Emo. Anyway,
Legend.
About 15 minutes into a show, she stopped laughing. And I leaned over and I go, what's the problem? She goes, he's like this, isn't he? This isn't an act.
He's like this. What a damning comment.
Well, I know. That was so funny. I go, you know what? I've known him for years, and I've never gotten past the facade, so I don't know. Maybe he is like that. I don't know.
See, I think for me, it was growing up, I would get bullied. And so to me, getting to the joke before the bully did deflates the game.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I have to tell you everything I did wrong today in case you find out, so I don't, like, it's out,
Get
so you
there
can't make
first.
fun of me.
Right.
Yeah, and that's I think a lot of comedians do, and it's a good tactic, but it comes out of a self-preservation space
Yeah.
to try to avoid the bullying growing up, and now I'm trying to use it for good to get a good laugh out there. But so I make the short joke first because I'm like, them saying the short joke. First of all, weak comedy, but me having a nice, tasteful joke in there.
For people listening,
I
George
look
is
like I'm
saying
6
that
foot
he's
tall.
short.
Yeah, I am 5'6" on a good day, like confident. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, when his shoulders are back.
Yeah,
and
like I
his,
slept well.
yeah.
The minor scoliosis hasn't kicked in yet. You know, because when you wake up, you're the tallest.
I didn't
So
know.
that's why I measure myself every day in the morning, first thing.
You're also
Yeah, I weigh
the
myself
skinniest,
in the
so
morning
I
as
weigh
well.
Yeah,
myself.
skinniest, tallest.
No clothes on.
Yeah.
I don't want to put that image in anybody's
I won't
head.
even drink water.
Too late
I'm like,
now.
we got to get this as low as possible.
Yeah.
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 It's
so,
funny you talk about the self-deprecating when you have fans come over and they comment on your character, my character, and my first thought is to correct them and say, no, you don't know me. I'm really a dirtbag. You know? And my wife says to me, you know, they really don't need to hear that. It's nice that they just take the compliment.
Well, it's like they never
It's
meet
so
your
hard
heroes.
for me to take it because my whole brain is set up to be, if you knew me like God knew me, you wouldn't even let me in this building.
Yes.
And I just, it's hard to take, and again, being married to someone, you look beautiful today. No, I don't. It would take the compliment.
Yes. That is hard to do over time, especially as you get
But
successful.
you
and
probably
people
don't
wanna
get
do it.
people coming to you telling you how tall you are.
You would. So
Because
we.
then you would have to correct them.
Well, we have people that visit us in the lobby. So we do the show. We come out twice an hour, and the first thing they say, wow, you're short.
Really?
And I have to go, okay, hold on, let me, in the recesses of my mind, they're going, okay, they've seen me on their TV screen sitting
Right.
every single time. They're meeting me in person, and they're going, wow, you're shorter than I thought you would be comparatively to how I see you on screens.
Right.
But it just comes out as, you're short. You're so short. And here's what they do to Deloney. They grab him by his bicep, and they go, man, I'm such a big fan. Now, no one's grabbing me by the bicep. So I just think it's a very different treatment than I get as a...
Your biceps are non-existent.
Exactly.
But, you know.
I'm a 5'6" little pale Middle Eastern guy, so that's kind of my shtick. Currently with comedy. I haven't evolved past that yet.
His comedy, though, is much different than Deloney. Deloney's a storyteller, but George is more like your style, very traditional
Bits and
80s
chunks.
setup, punchline, setup, punchline,
I
setup,
like that.
punchline. Yeah, it's like very... Yeah, I enjoy it because it's more traditional stand-up, which I was never able to do. I'm more of like a storyteller, one-man, one-lady show kind of stand-up. And
One man or lady, you need to choose on this episode.
that's my, like, I always make the lesbian jokes, or I was raised by a single dad, because what I get is like, oh, you're like a bigger woman than you look like on Instagram. And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
You like that?
Thanks.
You need an oil change or what?
Do you know how to change oil?
Yeah, you need a, well, you don't. You're a Tesla.
That's why I got a
Gross.
Tesla. I went,
Gross.
don't
you
have
have
to
a
ever
Tesla
try it.
too. I'm covered
You
by
a Tesla
Teslas.
guy too?
My wife is, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Welcome
yeah,
to the future.
We like it. We're looking. You have an S, which is what
Yeah.
we're looking at.
And I have a real old one, like when they first started making them.
Yeah.
So
And
things
he
are
loves
falling
to-
apart.
Well, the
say
prices come down since they started torching them. So
Yeah.
it's funny. I put, I don't know, 70% down on the thing and financed the 30. You know, yeah, I know.
You're
of the
okay?
heart.
Oh.
Are you
Dagger
okay?
of the
Do you,
heart.
need,
Well,
do you need a step?
Jeff's okay. I'm
With
not
the-
worried about
Okay.
Jeff.
with the thought that if I traded it in, I would still be, right side up on it. But not since they
Now you're
started
like
torching
15
them.
grand underwater.
I know. It's like I can't get 20% of what I paid for the darn thing because of these stupid lefties.
That's
burning
why I
them.
always buy used and pay cash. You never know what the CEO
Well,
is
that
going to
was-
say or do.
Well, the thing about the Tesla, and most people don't know this, is that we have the same software upgrades that the 2025s do, even though it's a 2022.
Yeah.
They just keep loading it up with
Yeah.
so
It's
we
like you
the
have a
same
new car every
technology.
day.
Well, that's it. That's it.
I love it.
So you started stand-up because you loved comedy. Can I ask you about, I love your story, your come-up kid story about how you ended up being a personality at Ramsey. I think I've heard everybody else's personality stories, and they're like moving, and it's like this whole
Double
thing.
PhD, yada yada.
Yada, yada, yada. Yeah, we all know. He's like, hi, I'm John, double PhD.
Yes.
But
Dur.
your story is like so much more like grassroots. Like I started here and then especially in the same company. So can you, I know Jeff doesn't know and the audience doesn't know.
Sure. So I started as an intern back in 2013 as a guy who was just trying to get any job out of college. I barely knew Dave because I'm from the North and they're just now learning about this, But the South, when I moved south to Mobile, Alabama from Boston, I was like, oh, like FPU is everywhere.
My youngest son was born in Framingham.
No way.
Yeah, he was a Boston comic in
Love
the 80s.
Framingham. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Back in the day.
Yeah, simpler times. Love Framingham. So yeah, I was this like northern transplant to the South. Found out about Dave. I liked one of the personalities that he had at the time,
Which one?
John Acuff.
Ooh, I don't know
Any
him.
relation
He was like one of
to
the
Roy?
first ones out there. He did stuff Christians like, and I read his blog and loved his books and stuff. So he was looking for like an intern guy, and I went, okay, can I try to do that? Well, they can't hire you as an intern if you have a college degree. Interns have to do it for credit or something. That was some law. So I went, okay, can you find me a temp job? So they found me a temp job doing social media stuff and who knows what else. So I got this internship, and it was over after 3 months, and I was like, is there anything here for me? And they were like, email marketing, could you do that? I went, sure, I will do that. So I did that for 2.5 years, went back into social media for another year, and then eventually got a host and MC role taking over for Ken Coleman, who at the time was hosting all of our live events. And so the way that happened was we do Battle of the Bands at work with all the coworkers, all the Belmont majors who...
I've been. It's amazing.
It's quite the
It is
spectacle.
no joke.
It's a talent show for grown-ups. where they all form bands, and again, half of them have music degrees that they're not using, so they're super excited to get the band back together.
Yeah.
It's so
And
good.
they do cover songs and all that.
No,
so
they have merch, Jeff.
it's a lot.
They have
They print
merch.
T-shirts and posters.
That's great.
I think it's a lot for me, but I do. It's a wonderful event that we do. So I was in bands for 3 years, and I kept losing. And I went, you know what's more fun? Hosting and getting to roast the bands. So
Yeah.
that kind of let me kind of lean into the comedy arm without losing anything. You're the hero if you're the host. So I had a great time doing that, and they went, what if he hosted our live events? So I started hosting all of our live events. The Ramsey Show live stream, I would host during the breaks because they'd go to radio, but on video, I was the guy filling the time, so that gave me a lot of great reps, at bats every day. And then over time, I had lived out the plan. Like when I started at Ramsey, I was 40 grand in debt, just 36 grand in student loans, 4,000 in credit card debt, and I went through financial peace, got out of debt in 18 months, followed the plan all the way through, met my wife there, we got a house, paid it off fast, and so it was like I was now the poster child of if you follow the plan as a young person, like here's what can happen. So I went from negative net worth to millionaire in 10 years of just following the Ramsey plan. And so because of that, in my heart to create content, I always had all these ideas of things we could be doing, and short form content's going to be the future, guys. We should jump on this. And so eventually they knighted me Ramsey Personality and allowed me to teach and create content instead of just host and MC.
Oh, wow.
And so that was a 10-year journey, really. I've been there 12 years now. And so it took 8 years to become a personality. I wasn't really trying. There was no secret strategy of I'm going to become an intern and one day they're going to see something in me. And it was just sort of like I just stumbled into the next thing and they kept giving me more rope and I was like, all right, I want to do really good at this and prepare. And so that's kind of been my MO is like I'm the most prepared guy in the room because I'm never the smartest or best looking. But I can be the most prepared. You've seen my comedy notes. They are extensive.
How many live events do you guys do a year?
We used to do 60 a year.
Really?
And then COVID happened and we slowed way down, started getting more strategic, doing more live streams from the headquarters. So now I would guess we do more like 25, maybe 30
Wow.
on a good year.
Also finished
Is
building.
Dave out with all of them? Or?
No, we've actually, so John Deloney and Rachel Cruz have their own called Money and Marriage. Dave does all the entree leadership events that are business focused. And then some of them he's not on at all. And so he's really taken a step back to go let's let these other personalities that I've grown to take over some of this.
Man, that's great.
So it's been a fun ride. I'm very thankful. I feel like this place raised me from a 23-year-old knucklehead to a 36-year-old knucklehead.
My favorite thing before I knew George, and I was kind of stepping back into Ramsey stuff. I was listening to the radio show, and I was like, "Oh, this guy's funny." Like the first call I heard of George's, he takes this call, and this guy's like, "I want to have a micro farm with a tiny house and chickens and sell my house and quit my job." And he was like, "Okay, well, what are you going to do for work?" And he was like, "I want to be like a C.S. Lewis." And you go, "Is C.S. Lewis a job?" He's like, "I thought that there was just one C.S. Lewis."
Oh, that's so funny. I have no recollection of that call at all.
It killed me.
This is all new information to me.
It was you and Rachel's very funny, so they were bantering back and forth, and I was like, this guy's got the comedy gene. And then I was lucky enough to be on a Ramsey gig here in Nashville, and I got to watch you do your first night.
Oh yeah, it was my first real
Comedy.
stepping into comedy in front of real people.
Ever. Yeah. Okay, so the calls, you said you were going to tell us about the horse call.
So yeah, there's an infamous call that I took almost exactly 3 years ago, where this girl Katie called in, and she's like 130 grand in debt, lives in a rural area in Kentucky.
Love America.
Yeah. So
Love
she's
America.
making 36 grand working for the USDA, no room for upward mobility. So I'm asking her, hey, can you go work at a Walmart? Can you go? No, it's a rural area. Can you go do this? She was riding her horse for $300 a month, which I'm like, okay, now the horse is injured. Expensive vet bills on top of losing the extra income. And so finally I'm at my wit's end. We're running up to the end of the break to radio. And I go, Katie, she tells us this horse is worth 20 grand, one of these horses. And I go, Katie, could you sell the horse? No, it's been with me for 11 years. It's family. It knows my... And I said, Katie, the horse doesn't even know your name. And Rachel Cruz looks at me just like, you can't say that. And then we go to break. And so we have to come back and do damage control. Because number one, the equestrian community, I don't know if you've met horse people.
Not at all. I know dog people. My wife showed dogs for years. It's
Yeah.
the same.
Similar breed.
Much wealthier
Yes.
than dog people.
I found out there's two types of horse owners. There's broke people and super wealthy people. There is no in between.
Right.
There's no middle class horse owners. So I got roasted by the equestrian community for how rude I was and how I said the horse doesn't even know your name and horses can see through your soul and would you sell your dogs? And I'm like, my dog doesn't need acreage. It sleeps in the bed with us. It doesn't need a stable.
Doesn't need to graze.
This isn't a side hustle. My dog's not worth 20 grand. And so I'm like, this is not the
He
same.
got canceled by horse people.
But it was bad. Like people are like, I'm not listening to the show anymore. Cancel this guy. You need to fire him for
I
what.
could see that though.
But it's like, and then I realized like I'm double down on my advice. Right. And so there were some people that were like, you said the harsh but real truth, and I'm like, I could have been kinder. I should not have said the last part, but I was so frustrated because what I saw for her was a future where she just lives with his debt forever and dies broke. And so I was like, you got to do something drastic. You said the horse is worth 20 grand?
Well, as a recovering addict, the question that always gets asked eventually, if you talk long enough to somebody, okay, what length are you willing to go to stop doing what you're doing that's killing you?
Oh, yes.
And
you could take calls on the show.
and
This
then
is
you
exactly
go,
what we need.
and then they tell you, well, I'm not going to do this, and that. Well, and then then you live with your addiction. I guess,
that's the litmus test.
I have
on the
nothing
show.
else for you. I'm trying to help you get out, but you don't want to do this, and
You
this.
can't want it more than they do.
Yeah, you can't just will it.
Yeah, they call me and they go, hey, we're underwater in the car and we're drowning. And we go, sell the car. And they go, well, no.
Take it from me, it's so much easier to get into debt
Yes.
than it is to get out of debt.
It's wildly easy.
Yeah, I owed the IRS for 7 years.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, it was.
That's a scary one.
Oh, yeah. To the point where I have PTSD. If I get a letter from the Internal Revenue Service, I go,
imagine.
Okay, Tammy, it's time for you to go to work.
You must have had them on speed dial. It's like your
Tammy,
emergency
we're
contact.
selling you, Tammy. We're selling you.
Oh, my goodness.
I always said if you owe the IRS $10 and you can't pay them, borrow the 10 from the mob. You get a better interest rate. And at least if you can't pay the mob the 10 and the interest, they're kind enough to kill you and put you out of your misery. The government just keeps sending you letter after letter after letter.
Oh, yeah. They'll garnish your wages. I mean, they'll...
Yeah, we can't. I was out hitting golf ball. We had just moved here and realized I qualified for the poverty income tax credit.
Wow.
And I've told this story before, but I got on my cell phone, called my wife in our 3-bedroom home in one of our 2 cars as I was driving and said, did you realize we're living in poverty? And she said,
no.
who told you that? I go, the government.
That's amazing.
So I'm out hitting golf balls and she calls me and says, guess who's in the driveway? I go, she goes, the IRS. I go, they came to the house? She said, yeah. I said, did they bring a van, a moving van? She goes, no, they're just in a car. I go, they're just checking to make sure we're not living above the means that we claimed.
Yeah.
And we weren't, but
That's comforting.
Yeah.
If it was the van, does that mean they're coming to take all your stuff?
So anyway, I know if they had a van, I would assume they were coming to collect things.
Like a Schitt's Creek situation. They start taking your assets.
Absolutely.
Oh
but
my
I had
gosh.
none.
Wow.
That was the thing. But the last audit, I had 3 in a row. I slid my keys into the auditor's lap and said, take everything. I'm done. Yeah, and I think they put
Was that your rock bottom?
Yeah, I think they put a note in my file. He's this close to blowing up one of our buildings. So
But they could tell.
Let's let him go. Yeah,
Wow.
and
They must get a lot of those.
Well, the interest and penalties and all of that. Yeah. So when I started listening to Dave, it made perfect sense to me that is bad. That is really bad.
Because you've experienced it firsthand.
Well, yeah, the crushing part of it was when you get to the point where you know you don't make enough and you'll never make enough. Then that's where I threw my hands in my ears and surrendered. And then I hired somebody to go to one of those places that get you out of debt with the IRS. And I called him after 3 months because I hadn't heard from him. And he said, we're working on it. And then I got a bill in the mail for $250 for the 15-minute conversation that took
Him saying we're working on it.
Yeah, Joe, we're working on it. So eventually I paid him 7 years to pay him off.
It's expensive to be broke. People don't talk about that enough.
Well, it's also draining. Emotionally draining.
We had a call the other day. The guy said, hey, I want to file bankruptcy. I'm like, how much debt do you have? He said $12,000. I said, what's stopping you? And he goes, well, bankruptcy costs $2,000. I don't have that. I was
Right.
It costs money to file bankruptcy. People don't realize that.
I filed it 10 grand, I think it was.
Wow.
And I look back at that only because I came home one day and Tammy was sobbing on the phone. And I said, I thought her mother died in a plane crash. That's how hard she was crying. And she said, this is a bill collector. I go, bill collector? Got him on the phone. And I said, where you at, man? And he gave me his address, and I drove down there to call. I was going to go beat him up in the parking lot.
Wow.
And then halfway down there, I realized this is out of hand. I mean, I'm
you're gonna get yourself
I'm
killed.
losing. I'm going to get you killed, or
Yeah.
I'm going to kill somebody over 10 grand. I mean, I didn't even. To me, it was insurmountable because on top of that, I owe the IRS $50K.
Oh my goodness.
So I'm looking at the IRS, which they're not going to get rid of. And then this, and I called the dentist who we owed money to. I said, just take the bill back from this collector. I'll do whatever I can to pay you back. And I mean, it was a bad time. So I understand, like the woman, $36K a year, you get $130,000. You keep telling
I can
yourself,
do basic math going. There's no way out.
there's no way that those numbers add. So at some point you got to do the hard work, and I'm fortunate in a business to where when something breaks, your income is unlimited.
Yes.
So I was able to finally raise it, make enough money to where I was able to pay these
Clean
debts
this mess up.
But the work you guys do is a ministry. And it's funny because I do a joke in my show where my wife tells me she loved lobster, and after 32 years of marriage, I go, I never heard that before. She goes, well, they're so expensive. And I said, well, Dave Ramsey this. I'll put $2 in an envelope every week. At the end of the year, we got $104. I said, I'm going to walk into the Palm. I'm going to put 52 envelopes in the car and get this woman a lobster.
That's amazing.
But it's so funny, the relationship in the church, when I say we're going to Dave Ramsey this.
They know exactly what
$2
you're
in an
talking
envelope,
about.
they know exactly what that is.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
And they all had their own version of that.
Yeah.
If you had to sacrifice, you have your own, we're going to Dave Ramsey this.
Yeah.
We're going to drive the hoopty.
Rice and beans and rice.
Yeah, the old rice and beans. That was your version. I could have told you to go to the grocery store and get some lobster. You could have done it a lot cheaper.
They don't even sell them like that in the tank
Oh, I guess
anymore.
Massachusetts. They had them live in the tank. So my dad would just we'll just take a few home. They'd have them crawl on the ground.
That was the day, man. Back in the day.
Yeah, simpler times.
We could look them in the eye and just go, this is your day, baby.
Yeah. That's when I knew my dad had a darkness, because he would take that lobster crawling on the floor and just drop it in that boiling water and just watch it slowly die. And I was like, I don't know that I want to be a part of this.
You're just keeping your room clean.
Yeah, I mean, the lobster was great, but
You couldn't hear the little screams?
Yeah, exactly. No, that's just their claws being crushed by the... No, that's...
Screams of
a
the light.
scream for help. Oh,
That's so sad.
yeah. I don't eat a lot of lobster these days for that reason.
Oh my gosh.
Well, the funniest thing, we get to the Palm, and they tell me they're out. I go, you can't be out.
I better go find
I
it.
told her we're going to get her. Anyway, she goes, no. He said, no, the Tennessee Titans come in. They order them 3 at a time. And I go, that's it. I'm no longer a Titans fan.
Yeah, I'm
They've
done.
ruined my life.
This was your one thing.
And then 8 minutes later, he comes back. Well, believe it or not, we got a shipment in. So I get her this 4-pound lobster at the Palm. She takes 3 bites. I go, eat the lobster.
She couldn't even finish it.
Couldn't even finish it. 3 bites.
Oh, women.
So we had lobster mac and cheese at home.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. Just little bits of
Is this the way you thought the conversation would go when you sat down?
Actually, this is going better than I expected.
He told me he's done some dog podcast. And I was like, oh, you're going to have fun over
Yeah,
here.
I mean, because we do whatever is on our... All right, hey, this guy reached out. He wants to do a podcast. I go, all right, I'll talk to anyone. If there's 2
That's the
people
way
listening.
I am.
So, I mean, this is a much bigger deal.
I haven't. Keep holding that cup.
I'm really trying to get this.
Yeah.
I'm honestly impressed that you guys have merch. I've had a show for years. I got no merch. I got no
Carollynn put that together.
Yeah.
Way to go.
That's this lady.
So resourceful.
So you didn't bring your book in, so we can't hold it up.
That's fine. They'll put a graphic up right here. I don't know if we have that kind of editing capability. I don't assume.
I listened to his podcast and his editing style. You have an editing brain for the new age. I feel like you're always 3 steps ahead. So today, dyslexic, ADHD, only went to 6th grade. I don't understand money. Like, I can't comprehend any of it. And your podcast that came out today was, Are We in a Recession? And I know you, and I'm friends with you, so I was like, I guess I'll press play on this trash. And then I press play, and it's like, not only does he make it interesting, there's a bunch of jokes, but he also breaks it down in a really simplistic way. But he was doing things like, what's that curve called? The recession curve?
Yes. It's got a crazy name.
Yeah, it's like an
inverted
yield curve. And he was like, ooh, you see the curve on that inverted yield curve? And then there was like editing where I was like, woo, woo.
That's all of our editors. So they don't let me touch the videos.
You don't give them notes.
I don't give them notes. I used to watch them and review them and go, hey guys, take that part out. But like, we're on such a machine now. It would take me all day.
For idiots, what's a yield curve?
I couldn't remember if I told you.
I'll tell you what a yield curve is. I listen to the podcast. So a yield curve lets you know if there's
what the treasury yield is at.
A recession, and you can look at yieldcurve.today, I think.
That's right. You remember the website.
And it's like, it goes by 10 years back and 2 years back. So as long as it's up by 10 years back, and then the 2-year one is lower than the 10-year one, we might be in a recession, but we're not in a catastrophic Great Depression style recession. It just means that there's like inflation. You take it away. You're the guy.
Oh, you're doing way better than I could. You remember way more. Well, but yeah, essentially it's just one indicator. Are we in a recession? Well, here's one indicator to show, where as far as the treasury yields go. So I'm trying to go like, here's all the nerdy stuff, but nobody cares about the nerdy stuff. They want to know how it affects them, and they want to learn it fast, and they don't trust the news to figure it out or learn it. And so I'm there to sort of be the financial literacy for a generation. Without all the drama and the clickbait and the cynicism, I'm trying to go, hey, we can make jokes about this. We're going to have some pop culture references. I'm going to make it easy to understand, and we'll live to fight another day.
Yeah. My question is, I call my mom, and she lives on a 100-acre farm in the middle of nowhere, and she's a prepper. I call her, and she's like, I love you, but you are going to die in Nashville. You're going to starve to death, and you're going to have to crawl your way back to Arkansas so you can get food here. And she's convinced, the news has convinced her that because of tariffs and all this stuff that the world is ending. I eat a carnivore diet. My grocery bill is ginormous. Now I'm down to just hamburger because it's
like the cheapest meat you can buy.
Yeah, rice and beans will kill me, Dave. So I can't do rice and beans. So why are the food prices higher? 1, will it stop? 2, and 3, how does somebody manage a grocery? What do we do, George?
What is my solution for all this? Well, you asked, what's causing all this? Obviously, inflation has been high. Consumer spending is still hot. The Fed is trying to, control all of this.
Wait, say all this in really dumb terms.
Okay.
I'm really dumb.
So, prices are going up. And part of this is rates at which we borrow at and what banks borrow at. And so that affects how much things end up costing companies. So prices go up. Well, now the grocery store has to pay more to get their bread, so they charge you more. They're always going to pass prices on, which is the whole beef with the tariffs. Is all tariffs do is increase prices for the American consumer. So that's part 1. Part 2, will it end? It has slowed down. So it's still going up, as it always has been in history, but it's going up at a much slower rate. Not as slow as they would like, they being the Fed, the people who set these rates at which banks borrow at, which then in turn affects us. So it's heading in a good direction. Here's the problem, and here's my suspicion. They're trying to curb consumer spending. So when they make interest rates much higher, well, it's harder for Jeff to go get a car loan because now the rates are 12% on that Tesla.
Well, that's what it is. It's not even that. I want to build an addition to my house, but I'm not paying 6% or 7%.
On the mortgage. So that affects mortgage interest rates, credit card interest rates, which in ideally, people go, we shouldn't do all this right now. That cools down the economy to a healthier spot to where inflation will also cool. The problem is, and I have this theory, because people are so addicted to debt and payments, they're still taking on payments. Maybe it's because they're broke and they have to, Maybe it's because they still want the nicer car, but the rates are crazy high and the prices are high. That's happening with houses, that's happening with cars, which is only hurting our ability to avoid a recession. So it's just this crazy, like, self-fulfilling prophecy, and consumers are still out there making terrible decisions. Now you can finance your Costco hot dog because Costco partnered with a firm, and DoorDash and Klarna are partnering together. And so all of this debt culture that we're obsessed with is, I think, a huge reason the economy is where it is today. And we're not talking about it.
Do you see people's incomes going up to match it or no?
Not at the rate. So it's not at the same rate. So people are saying wages are down. Well, wages haven't gone up as fast as the housing market or college tuition. And that is a problem. But what they're forgetting is you have more control over your income. There isn't like a set, well, the wages are here, and so I can't ever make more. There's people making lots of money. And so I don't like this idea that, well, if they just raise minimum wage, it would solve everything. I'm like, going from $14 to $16 is still not the solution to someone who's paycheck to paycheck.
Right. Do you think that, well, I guess...
Not because the business that's going to increase their labor costs 20% are going to increase their product costs 20%
Exactly.
to cover the cost.
So their spending has to...
That was the argument I had with my father for years. He was a Chicago union guy, and he actually said this to me in a conversation, that labor costs have no effect on the final cost of a product. And I went, what? So you're telling me that if they paid 50% more to their employees and they didn't increase the cost of their product, they'd make the same amount of money?
What did he say?
He's absolutely.
Wow.
It came from the union newsletter. So,
I didn't know they had a newsletter.
So, and again, fuel costs, obviously drive everything. If it costs more to drive goods to the market, obviously they're going to increase those costs. And it's interesting, in an economy as large as ours. I was on a aircraft carrier years ago, and a girl jumped over and tried to commit suicide. It took that carrier almost 2 miles to stop and turn around. And I think of the American economy like that carrier.
It's so slow.
It's so slow to respond to these stimuli. And the quickest response is obviously the fuel cost, because that's an immediate expense for anybody in business.
If that truck was about to take off and gas now costs this much for diesel.
Right. If you're going to increase your transportation costs by 20 or 30%, then you got to pass that on to the consumer. You have to, at each level. So you got 3 different sets of people delivering. You got the wholesaler, you got the manufacturer, the wholesaler, and then the retailer. So they're all tagging on that 10 or 15%. So the cost of that good getting to the market.
And then we get screwed.
And then I have a farmer friend that talked about feed costs. We bought a cow from him 2.5 years ago, and I think we ended up paying. We didn't want the whole thing, but we couldn't find anybody to pick up half of it. So we have a freezer full of beef that costs us $2.87 a pound. We look like we look like geniuses.
Yeah.
Because we were looking to buy another one, and he goes, "Well, it's going to be a lot more money because my feed costs."
Now it's $4 a pound.
Well, that was it. My feed costs have gone up 70% to get that cow fat.
Whew. So it's not. It's going to be a slow burn.
Well, I guess I thought, because I, of course, was around in the 2008. I know on your podcast you said stop calling it the Great Recession. That's dramatic. But I
just don't like that it's called the Great. The Great should be reserved for things that are wonderful.
Yeah.
Like, I just think it's a stupid
recession.
name. Yeah.
Yeah.
You did want us to introduce you as the Great George.
Right? I have a little cape or something. You would make the Great George, and he's a giant loser.
Now it all makes sense now.
He's a 5'6" loser over here,
Oh my gosh, no. So I was around in 2008, but I was married to, I was 18, and I was married to a Marine. And so our lives, on base, around base, none of the economy was even affected at all.
Oh.
Because we all were paid by the government, we all had health insurance, Marines kept buying Challengers, like it was all good.
Yeah.
And then
because the government doesn't need to make money, they just redistribute the money that we give them.
Yeah, exactly. So we were
great. Genius business model.
Or they print whatever makes up the
difference. Or they just print more. It just makes your dollar worth less.
So I leave to visit my dad in Sacramento, and there is like tent cities, abandoned houses, no construction workers are just living in the parks, whole families. Like, it was something I'd never seen anything like it unless I was like down on Skid Row doing something in LA. And I couldn't believe all these people I knew lost their homes. And I thought that we would be protected from any type of housing issues this time around because it felt like it wasn't falsified loans. It felt like real people in Chicago, New York, whatever, were selling real homes, getting real cash, coming to places like Tennessee, buying homes at a much cheaper rate that ended up, of course, now the prices are outrageous. But what happened during COVID? Because to me, it seemed like real money coming in, not this like fake, I took on too much debt. Did people take on too much debt? Like what do you think?
During COVID?
Yeah.
Well, people actually got spooked, and so they started saving money like never before.
That's a good thing.
Which helped.
Yeah.
Which helped, for sure. But, I mean, with COVID, they turned off the production lines because everyone was scared that we were all going to die. And so what that did was cause delays, cause things to get way more expensive, cause shortages. And so it's all supply and demand.
Except in Tennessee, we built 8,000 houses and 45 communities.
And then lumber went like 1,000% up.
It's
and
so crazy right
now. They're like,
now.
well, now it's going to cost $4 million to buy that same home. So all of that just caused chaos that we're still undoing. I mean, like computer chips that go into cars and all that stuff. Like there's just not enough supply, which then increases prices for everything because the demand is still there.
And delays.
And then all the delays. And so, and I'm sure there's some corporate greed in there, but I don't think it's as much as people make it out to be. I don't think that's the number one problem. And so we're still undoing all of that. I think it's going to take a long time, and I don't think it's going to like revert back to like cheap prices. I think we'll just see it create a normalcy to where it's not going up and to the right as fast.
Yeah, I see that. And I rent cars, and during COVID, the car rental industry just decided that customer service meant nothing.
Oh, yeah.
And it hasn't come back. They realized that, you know what, we don't need to hire as many people. We don't need to, they'll wait in line.
There's one person at the desk, and that's what you get.
They'll stand in line for 45 minutes waiting for a car, and they won't shoot the place up.
Oh, my gosh.
This close.
I would not want
joke,
Jeff in my line.
You know,
This close.
This
For
close.
legal reasons, this is a joke.
It's a joke. But that's the one thing that I noticed coming out of COVID as someone who travels is that customer service in this country and the employees. I've walked into Buffalo Wild Wings empty and told there's a 20-minute wait for a table.
Yeah, because there's one server there.
Right.
It's hard. And I think post-COVID, what happened was there was like an existential crisis everyone had of like, life is short, what am I doing? Number one, I can collect unemployment and make more than I can working.
Right.
That was a major issue. And number two, everyone went, I don't want to do this anymore. Screw this. And so they all went to go find themselves and become YouTubers instead of, working all these jobs. And so we walk into restaurants and retail and we're like, this sucks.
Yeah, I got to the point where I started thanking people for their service. The waiters and waitresses. I had my favorite waiter, I tell this story all the time, a 78-year-old guy at Outback, got nothing right. I mean, he drops a blooming
skill-wise,
drops a blooming onion on my table. I go, I didn't really order this. He goes, oh, God, I'm so sorry. He starts like beating himself. And I go, relax, Joey, relax.
Yeah.
I said, I'll eat the blooming onion, okay? It doesn't matter if I die a couple of weeks sooner, Yeah. And he gave me a steak I didn't order, whatever, and he was, and
he meant well.
But that was it. I'm just thank you for working.
Yes,
I appreciate it.
At least someone was here to at least bring some food to the table.
Yeah, I've had.
So now when you get great service, it's like mind blowing.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. As a business owner, now's a great time to just hire someone who has that in them to deliver some decent service because it will blow all of our minds when things just show up on time and they're right.
Yeah, everyone seems like they have a chip on their shoulder in customer service now, even in the South, more so than ever before.
Well, I'm sure they're being treated pretty crappily. Everyone's just like on edge. Everybody's a live wire.
Yeah, that is how it feels. Like everybody's just hasn't been the same. Dan and I, our sound engineer, Christian's on vacation. Hi, Dan. We were talking about how it feels like there's this weird time warp since COVID. It's like I don't really have... Do you guys feel like that?
Well, my whole life is pre and post.
Yeah, that's how it feels.
Hey, I met you, and I go, was it before the scourge or after the scourge?
Oh, I like that. Scourge.
Yeah, I don't know. And
makes me want to get scurvy.
Yeah.
They still have that?
It's so funny because living in Fairview, where we live, our life didn't really change outside of the fact that I didn't work. My grandkids came over 5 times a week, whatever. I was playing golf 3-4 days a week.
Sort of insulated way out
well,
there.
that was it, you know. And then I remember going out to work, but the clubs opened up at 25% capacity or something, and realizing the damage that was done to communities.
Especially the like live entertainment, hospitality industries, like they just got hammered.
Yeah, in certain states, you know, Florida. I mean, I remember my manager flew down to Florida, right in the middle of all of it, and he goes, "My God, it's like everything's. I'm in a crowded bar. They're having a blast, no masks, and you know, and it's so funny to talk like that, as if this is. I mean, my God, it's America. We should be wide open.
Yeah,
and I think you're right about the younger, certainly people coming out of that going, I don't know if I want to do this. I really don't.
And they got a taste of remote work, and so everybody wants remote jobs now.
Yeah, my son hasn't gone back.
Really? No, what's he doing?
Software engineer for a company.
And he's fully remote.
Yeah, he used to go down here every week near the airport. He worked. And,
it sort of became like a buyer's market where the people who wanted work had options, and now we're flipping. It's starting to lean to where people are going, I can't find a job anywhere. So now they're taking the in-office jobs because it's what they can get, and they can't. They don't have the luxury of being like, well, I'd prefer to be. You're like, I'll take anything with a paycheck and insurance.
Yeah.
So I think that's where we're headed. I don't think that if we are in a recession, I think it's going to be a light one. It's not going to be detrimental, but I do think certain industries are going to feel it. The GDP being down 2 quarters in a row, so like 6 months where we are not growing the economy.
So the GDP is contingent on consumer spending, but yet the interest rates are raised
that plays into it all.
To damper.
For the dummies in the room, what's a
GDP?
It's the gross domestic product. So it's just everything we produce, all the assets.
So does it have to do with stocks?
No.
No, totally separate.
It ends up having to do with stocks only because companies are the ones that produce products. So that's a part of it.
And then people go and buy the company stock.
Yes.
Got it.
So they're connected, but not like a direct correlation.
People like me shouldn't be allowed to buy anything. Like, you should have to have classes before you're allowed to buy.
Yeah, we are working on.
product.
We have a new. So we have a personal finance curriculum. We're actually now working on an economics curriculum.
Oh, that'll be great.
Because especially now, people like this is the perfect time to be putting this out there to help kids understand, like teenagers, like what is going on.
It's interesting in the school system, they don't teach finances.
Yeah.
Unless they have the Ramsey.
We're trying. We're in like 48% of schools have now taught our curriculum, but there's still a long ways to go. Yeah.
Really?
In private, anyone can buy the curriculum.
Well, private I understand. But
yeah. So public schools are now starting to mandate. There's over a dozen states that have now mandated a personal finance curriculum before graduation, which I think is wonderful.
Wow, that's great.
So we're making progress, and now kids have access to YouTube. It's stuff that we didn't have access to learn about. So they're learning about stocks when they're 11. Going, okay, I want to get into Bitcoin now, and
And they're learning about comedy, because I'll have 11-year-olds come to me and go, your timing is impeccable. I go, thank you, young man.
That's amazing.
Well, yeah, I grew up with Tonight Show. You got a 3-minute spot once a week, maybe twice a week. They had a comedian on, and that's
now they have unfettered access.
Well, that's it. The Comedy Channel, actually started when I was living in New York. I remember that when it started. I go, all comedy. This is my foresight. I go, who's going to watch that?
Listen. You're like, we're trying to help you, Jeff.
Well, it's because you've sat through enough open mics. You're like, who would watch that all day?
Well, that's it.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Can they feed that beast?
And then they made it a show called Kill Tony. That's the most shocking part. They went, we can air this.
Yeah.
To roast these poor souls.
You're younger than me, but did you grow up on... Because Comedy Central Presents was my whole childhood.
Yeah.
I mean,
Really?
I lived on it. That and BET's Comic View.
Wow.
Nonstop. I just watched comedy all day long.
It's funny. My kids, they wanted nothing to do with it.
Really?
Watch it. Nothing. And maybe it's the fact that I was never home and their childhood was deprived of a father.
That would explain it. If they were in therapy, I think that would be
animosity. They blamed comedy,
Yeah.
And, they wanted absolutely nothing to do with what I did.
Wow. No, I grew up watching Letterman, Leno, and then Conan was my favorite. He was like... Yeah, exactly. He was legendary to me because of how offbeat and irreverent it was compared to the old school,
Leno,
the top 10 Letterman, which I loved. But Conan just felt like, oh, wow, this guy's taking us to the future.
Yeah.
And he was self-deprecating, didn't take himself seriously, but you could also tell it was really smart.
Yeah.
And so that inspired me as a guy who just wanted to make stupid videos with my friends. I grew up in the Jackass era.
Oh,
And so I was like, I don't really want to die, but I like this angle of comedy. And so I grew up watching the late night shows. And, Middle Eastern people, especially Egyptian people, which my dad is Egyptian, very funny people. Like, humor is their love language. And so my dad would pay me $1 to go up to people at the Arabic Baptist Church and say something in Arabic. I didn't know what it meant, but it was something irreverent. And so he would give me $1 to do that. The guy would end up laughing. And so that trained me early on. It was like Pavlov's dog to like, hey, I got $1. I say something funny. They laugh. This is a win.
I'm sure that found its way to your tax form.
Yeah, 100%.
Are we confessing in front of the thing?
$7 I made.
We're 37 trillion in debt. Every nickel helps.
You know what? I'm willing to do it. I'm gonna pay some back taxes for 30 years ago. But that was a fun. That's when I realized that like you can get paid to do comedy.
Yeah,
$1 at a time.
There is something the first time you get a good check from comedy, and it changed. Not $1 at church, sorry, but it really changes. Like
I'll let you know when I see a good check from comedy, but.
Well, I would feel like shame, like, oh no, I should be paying you. I can't believe you're letting me do this. This is crazy.
Oh yeah.
I still have the mindset. That's why I have managers. They're shameless asking for. But yeah, I started. The comedy club had a $2, $5, $7.50, and $10 pay scale. I never made it to $5.
What causes that? The amount of time you're on stage?
Well, I don't know exactly. It was
How
very
many laughs per minute?
very arbitrary, And I remember the one time I got drunk, which was common, and
the one time
I got into an argument with the owner, and he said, "I'm going to take away your $2." And I go, "That's how stupid you are. You think I come here for the money?" I drank the $2 the second I walked in the door.
It costs you money to get
so
that
then
club.
he says, "That's it. You're a $0 comic." And I said, "What president is on that bill?"
Oh my gosh,
I just want to know what the $0 is.
They write
And
you
that was
check
it.
for $0.
I had to hit the road because I had no place to work in Chicago. But,
Wow.
I just said if I could make, I quit a job making $200 a week.
To do comedy full time.
To do comedy full time, and I thought I can make $200 a week.
If you can replace that, you're good.
Yeah.
Did you? How long did that take?
Not that long. Comedy clubs exploded. This is 1980, so comedy clubs exploded.
That's what everyone wanted to do.
Well, that was it. So there was more comedy
the
clubs. There was
discotheque.
more work than there were comedians who can do 15, 20 minutes of reason. And so I hit the road as an MC, and quickly I went to middle and then headlining, which wasn't really headlining. I was just closing shows, but for years.
Has it flipped now to where there's so many people who want to try comedy?
Well, the thing
There's
is,
still very few that can do it well.
Well, the business has changed. That if you can't put rear ends in the seats, then you're not going to get a booking you can get as an opener or an MC, but so
you kind of need a following now.
Well, that's it.
It wasn't
and
just
a
about
lot
talent.
of people working. I'll ask because I'm not that familiar with anybody. I mean, during COVID, I started watching comedy again for the first time in like over 10 years. I never really watched it, but all these YouTubers and Instagram people, you walk in and I ask, do they have a show? They go, we don't care. The room was full. My favorite one was The Bachelorette. I don't even remember her name. I just know that she sold 17 cases of wine.
Wow.
300 women, all screaming at the stage at the top of their lungs.
So it was more about celebrity.
Well,
than it was
but
talent.
it's about paying the bills.
Yeah.
And
Butts and
it's
seats
interesting.
means
I
food
used
and
to go
beverage.
out Wednesday through Sunday, Tuesday through Sunday, Tuesday through Saturday. One club, 7 shows for the week. And now I'm out for a night. I go in on a Wednesday, then I go to another club on a Thursday, and I think first time I'm going into Naples for 2 nights, which is rare for me. There's a handful of people that do the weekends. Those are the bigger. So there is a hierarchy of talent, but the industry has changed.
Yeah.
quite a bit.
It's easier in some ways and so much harder in others because now anybody can just go on Instagram and upload a clip and get a few thousand views.
For me,
If it hits.
it was a curse.
Your story is pretty wild of like blowing up on TikTok.
Yeah, but it was a curse. I mean, it sounds like all peachy keen, like, oh my gosh, you were kind of funny.
Well, that's because you care.
Yeah, that's because I really care about comedy.
Well, that's
like,
it.
Deeply care. It was never a cash grab for me.
Yeah.
So there was never like, oh, I can do an hour, pay me.
What was the curse of it? Of just like, well, this is my persona that I'm...
Well, 2019 I started stand-up, lifelong lover of stand-up, and I didn't know I was funny until someone told me. And then some wine moms set me up to do an open mic. They were like, we're all going to sign up. And then none of them signed up. And so I went up there, and the guy was like, was this really your first time doing stand-up? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, you need to keep doing this. So then one open mic turned into 2, turned into 4, turned into 7 nights a week. And I was a dirty comic, and I was a mess. And then COVID happened. So I was like, oh, well, I guess I'm never going to do this again. And then I just got into online stuff. And then I said, I'm never doing stand-up again. And then I got, I've told this story on here before, but I got mad at Brent. And I was like, okay, watch me be more famous than you. And so I went back to stand-up to prove him wrong. And then I did one open mic, one show. The Recovering Californian blew up. And then I was in comedy clubs
Hundreds of
all over the
thousands of
South.
followers, like
that. Yeah.
and
it
then
was
you
all
were
over the
selling
South.
out shows.
Yeah, but it was weird because I had naturally funny, which is way different than stand-up. Like,
yes.
So it was hard for me to sit down and write. It was hard for me to repeat lines. It was hard for me to...
Like transporting a sketch from TikTok that was funny to like the stage. Was that a hard challenge?
And then also emote the same emotion every time you say it was really difficult for me, for sure. So it was a curse. I mean, people think, oh, this is great, but you're a one-cycle comedian. It's like you'll sell out everything, then people know the show's not good. Then you come back to the club the next year, it'll be half capacity. And this happens to a bunch of Instagram social stars.
Yeah.
Then the next
Flash
year,
in the
it's
pan versus
yeah.
something where you're really building it slowly, lasts longer.
Something
Because
like...
you're not reliant on
exactly.
a TikTok blowing up.
Well,
But-
Cosby said, never create anything bigger than yourself. So if you create a hook or a line or whatever, it's going to be hard to follow with yourself, unless you can create another hook.
Yeah.
Another,
Yeah,
which
then
is
I became
difficult. You're
trapped.
lucky if you can get one. I'm at a point now where I would love one.
Is it kind of, is it
Give me
equivalent
2-year
to
run and
a
I'm out.
musician comes up with the one-hit wonder accidentally,
Right.
and they can never do anything bigger or better,
Right.
and so now it's like, well, now you're a failed musician who's washed up because you can never come back with something as
It's just
good.
the attitude of the chattering class.
Yeah.
You know, hey, I created one.
Yeah.
You know, that's pretty darn good. I mean,
And the best part of musicians
if that
is
was
you
easy,
want to
we'd
hear
have
the hit.
330 million one-hit wonders
Yeah.
because everybody would love to do that. It's not easy to create one.
Yeah.
You know,
And it's hard to get someone to laugh at the same joke twice. Versus a hit single, I'm like, let's play the hit. Give me
Well,
Third Eye Blind. Yeah, you know.
to certain audiences, because I'm one of those that I like hearing the same joke.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
too.
I'm
I get all
my
excited.
wife is like, I've heard that.
Yeah.
You know, and I go, man, how sad. You got to keep getting that beast fed. Me, I can. You know,
I hope they do
And I'm-
that one joke.
And I'm fortunate that my fans, they actually come out to hear stuff that they've heard 100
They want to hear
times.
some of the classics.
But they want to hear it live.
Yeah.
They want to hear it live. They've seen
And
it.
especially if it's like a bit.
Right.
You know, and if there's something that's special about it versus like, oh, I know the punchline coming up and that's all you're relying on,
Yeah.
it's going to be harder to reuse that.
And a style like, I look at like a Stephen Wright. It was interesting for me as a comedian and someone who writes comedy and produces my own stuff. I got away from laughing 10 minutes into the show to try to beat him to the punch. Because it was the setup, and I go, okay, I wanted to think like him. I wanted
Yeah,
to
if you
think.
could get to the
So that
punchline.
became an exercise for me rather than actually enjoying the show and just letting him be. It's like a person who goes to see a magician who wants to figure the trick out rather than enjoying the entertainment value of the trick.
Yeah.
I'm one of those that go to see a magician. I enjoy watching it. I appreciate. I started as a magician, so I appreciate the craft, and I understand that. So I think that someone who watches a joke, hears it, and then goes, all right, I've heard that. I feel sorry for them.
If that, if
really
that's your
do.
level of understanding.
Well, that's it. You just got to
appreciation.
keep getting that humor beast fed. I don't. I've listened to Carolynn's albums 40 times.
Wow.
You know,
Yeah.
I can hear those
Way to
things
go.
over and over and over again.
That's the sign of a real pro, of someone I respect and appreciate. Is like, do I want to go back and listen to that again for whatever reason, to
Right.
laugh, to study? So
Yeah.
those are my favorite. Is like I find the transcripts online of stand-ups that I love, and I'll study
There's
the words.
transcripts on
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a website that uploads transcripts from, the bigger specials out there.
Oh, okay.
So
You're
Netflix
right.
releases Nate's, and then 3 days later, the entire transcript is there, every word he said.
Really?
And so I'm going, how did he transition from this part about the water meter reader to then talking about his wife? Oh, there was just one little bit. And I'm going, okay, that's how he did that. Because I want to learn how to transition naturally.
Well, that's it. I used to spend as much more time
On the segues.
on the
yeah.
segues because I'd have all these disjointed stories. So how do they make them sound like they're just spontaneous and coming up?
Yes.
And
I need
but
that level of
segues are
structure.
important rather than speaking of.
Yes.
You know.
And some people can get away with
Slippers.
just moving here and here. But like I remember talking to Carollynn my first time doing it, and I was like, how do you like structure it, and then how do you memorize it? And I was so nerdy about the science of it
Yeah.
that I forgot that part of it is just you have to get out there and
Just have
feel
fun.
it and go, okay, I know why that works.
Yeah, my fear is at the end of my life, all I can remember is my act. You know, my grandkids are laying at my hospice
What's
bed
your
and
name
they're going,
again?
What's he talking about?
Who's this
You
guy?
know? And I'm putting together a new dry bar special, and I'm going through it now. And it's such a
Is it easier than it used to be?
no, it is not.
Harder.
It never is. And I went to Zany's a couple weeks ago before we went on vacation, and I read off a notebook. And I went home, and I felt like I wanted to go back and give them their money back because and then I also wanted to run on the stage and go, no, I'm better than this. I really do
Yeah.
have an act.
Because it was
You
new
know?
material.
Well, it was. It was just,
Yeah.
I'm literally at a point where I can't even remember it now. I just got to read it off the paper.
Yeah.
And then it gradually, Carollynn has given me some stuff. She's got such a twisted view of things. That,
100%.
And I
you.
love it. The joke was about the Jardians diabetic with commercial where they're dancing around a fountain celebrating diabetes.
Oh, my
That's
gosh.
where we're at as a nation now.
Yes.
And she says, boy, it's kind of hard to dance around a fountain with a foot missing. You know? And I go, there it is.
There's the dark
thing
punch.
I'm looking at. You'll never see anybody my age in these commercials because it's hard to dance with feet missing.
Oh, that's hilarious.
You know,
And then you bring
so
some
true.
self-deprecation in there.
Well, that's it. But
That's good.
But yeah, I love the process, and I love people like just talking to you. I understand you, and you. I can tell you enjoy the process
Yeah.
of it.
The whittling of the.
It's
That's why I love
almost as much
Seinfeld.
fun as getting the laugh.
Yeah.
Is when I tire of the process, then I'll probably quit doing what I do. I don't
If
mind
it's just
doing
the
the same
delivery
thing
of it.
over and over again. I really don't, because I know in my head that I'm going to add something to it. I'm going to make some, because everything I do now is something that's been added to something that existed 5 years ago. So the cynic may look at what I do and go, oh, I've heard all that. But I know,
It's an evolution.
well, I know that there's 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 different points of view that are different, that segues changed. I'll mix things up. Again, I don't know why this has turned into my interview.
I've been really enjoying this.
I was watching you. You're interviewing Carollynn, and I'm interviewing myself. And
Well, I only have an hour and a half with you. I got to learn as much as I
Right.
can.
Right. So.
Well, it's not every day that a comedy fan gets to sit next to a comedy legend. So I think.
Thank you, Carollynn, for saying it. I've only done a few gigs, but they're saying my one cruise comedy I did with you is going down in the books.
Oh my gosh, the cruise was really fun. He was on the cruise. He did stand up too.
Now,
And-
does the Ramsey in the audience know that you do stand up? Have you put that out
No,
there?
they
do now.
didn't, especially on the cruise, but they knew that, they know John and I, they know our personalities. They know that we're more likely to make jokes and, have some humor and levity. And so when we said we're doing comedy 11 p.m. on the cruise, it's a captive audience. So it felt like we manufactured this show.
But you had friends because they like you.
Exactly.
That's huge.
And then I'd come to Franklin. I'm at the Mockingbird Theater with 20 people on Good Friday. Same material, bombing completely.
There you go.
And I'm like,
He opened for Moody.
I opened for Moody.
Oh.
And I'm going, is this, like, that's when I had the existential crisis, like, maybe I just peaked early. I did 3 gigs and I think I'm done.
It was so
Wow,
funny.
that's such a comic's brain.
Right?
Doesn't matter what you did in the past. You're only as good as your last show.
Exactly.
I've been explaining that to my wife for 40
Yes.
years. She goes, no, it's not. Though. I go, it is. In my head,
Yeah.
they figured me out.
There's
I
no
suck.
such thing as a good joke on its own. There's a good joke plus the right audience in the right moment.
Well,
That's what
that's
blew
it.
my mind.
I leave Zanies every Monday night going, I suck. They figured me out.
Yeah.
You know?
And then you go to one of your gigs and you're like, oh, these people love me. They're eating it up.
Yeah.
I could burp the ABCs and they'd be like, give us more. So
Yeah.
that's the hard part with comedy.
You
It's
can
like,
burp the ABCs?
no, I can't. But I'm saying that's kind of my joke is that, like, if Deloney was like, hey, guys, he's burping the ABCs down the street, everyone's buying a ticket. I'm giving them the keys to financial freedom, and they're like, boo, outdated. We're using our credit cards, you know.
I saw him the next day. We went to Easter at Deloney's, and he was a different human. I saw him on the cruise where it was like it's like a 500 seat theater.
It was like $750 in that theater.
It was
and
$750
packed.
in there. Okay, it was a great setup. That was a fun show. But like they like murdered because everyone loves them.
Right.
And I was like, this is so fun for them. This is so great. And then I talked to Moody and he was like, hey, I'm going to put George Kamel on the show at the Mockingbird. And the Mockingbird is like one of the worst places to do a gig.
It was
ever.
rough.
And I was
And
like,
I've done it like
"Oh,
3
no."
times now. I'm like, why am I drawn to this darkness?
I was like, he is so close to Jesus right now because he is being crucified
Yes.
on Friday. And then I saw him on Easter and he was a different man. He was like,
I was
so this
hopeless. I
comedy
literally told him, I
thing-
was like, I don't think I'm ever doing a gig again. But then Stephen Bargatze asked me to join his on May 18th, so I did that. That was like my first.
Oh, I saw you
Nobody
there.
knew I was going to be there, and I just went, let me just try 15 minutes and see. And it went fairly, Brent followed me and crushed, and so that was not a great, I was like, oh, that's what it looks like to be a great
Yeah,
comedian.
but Brent generally crushes.
Yeah.
You're competing against 13 years of.
Yeah. But I realized the hardest part for me now is internalizing all of the content, but then making it feel like it's the first time this audience is hearing it.
This? Yes!
Is that
That's it.
what you guys
Yes.
feel?
That's it.
Because I'm like, I got my note. I'm walking up with my little notepad because I've only done this 5 times. I haven't memorized all 25 minutes verbatim. I don't want to miss a beat or a transition. And so it was just, that's the hard part. And I know the real comedians are looking at me going, poser.
Nobody is doing that. Nobody's
Nobody's
doing
doing that
It
because
is so
anybody
hard.
that does that is, in my book,
Anyone that cares.
mentally ill. Because if you know how hard this is, and anybody who's done it knows how hard it is, it's not a natural thing to want to get up in front of people
Yeah.
and lay yourself out there.
And you're just staring at these
and-
faces, and they're just looking at you, just like, okay, give me something that's going to tickle my brain in the right way.
Yeah.
And that's a hard thing to do. So I do like the challenge, and especially going, these people don't know me. How can I win them over in 10 minutes? That's difficult.
Well, that's the thing we were talking about, I think, when John was here, was I learned on Monday, New Material Monday, they don't know who I am. And I would come out like I come out for my shows.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
here.
Yeah.
You know? And they're like, well, who the hell are you?
It's like
You
your
know,
1700th
so
show. I'm like,
but
hey, it's
I've been
Jeff.
around long enough to know the next time I showed up, I walked out, sat on a stool, and I just looked down at him. I said, hey, man, it's good to be here. It's nice to see you.
Oh, different energy.
Yeah, different
Set the
thing. Like,
tone.
hey, man, I'm just, I'm one of you. I'm just trying to figure this thing out here. And then I trash myself for 2 minutes,
Yep.
you know? And then it was like, okay, well, we like you because you don't like yourself,
Connect and
Yeah,
disarm.
now you're like
Connect and
us.
Well, that's
disarm.
it. Yeah, but it's
But no pomp
but then
and
again, that's
circumstance.
part of the process that I enjoy as well. Is okay, shifting gears. Now I've seen guys who just it's that I call it the addict life. A true drug addict, which I am. If there's a brick wall, I'm going to try to plow through it. Even though there's a door right next to it, and people are going, "Why don't you use the door?" Shut up! I got a plan. Bam!
Yeah.
Bam! Now you're bloodied, you're messy, and you finally go, "All right, fine, I'll open the door."
I'll open the door.
So I am willing to adjust my stand-up for the room.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it. I understand that, especially corporate.
Oh, yeah, if you're in a church or at a corporation versus a comedy club, you got to adjust your entire ambiance. So
Well, I don't, but you do.
Yeah. Well, that's the other part. Is like I'm a part of I represent something bigger than me, being Ramsey.
Well, yeah. I
Not a
was
faith
gonna
thing,
ask
but
you,
like
that
that's
was-
hard.
Yeah, they own your name, dude.
Yeah, it's
I
like
was
I don't
gonna
want
ask you
to.
about
I'm not trying
that.
to tank my career over a stupid joke at an open mic. You know what I mean? So
Right.
there's a piece of it where it's like, how much of myself can I really bring to this? And I still haven't found that line. I mean, there's things where I'm like, it's a 9/11 joke. Okay, that's tasteful enough. I can leave that in there. But like, I'm not a dirty comic. Like, I'm clean because I act like my mom is listening to everything I do, and I don't want to upset her.
I think in the long run, it'll pay dividends because it'll force you to get a thesaurus and work the language.
Oh yeah.
We have a great language. You know, I've said there was a segment of the comedy population that heard George Carlin's 7 words and they go, yeah, I could use those, you know, and that's all they use.
That's all you need.
Yeah, and
But I there's a lot of dirty comics that I love, but because the jokes are good, not because they're dirty.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
well,
there's
that's what I think Cosby said it about the difference between Eddie Murphy and Richard Pryor was Pryor, you take out the 13-letter adjectives, was a great actor. With Eddie, if you took him out, there's not a lot of substance there.
oh, interesting.
That was the going back to the 80s. But I don't judge by language. I just judge whether or not I find it funny.
Yeah.
I
Did you get an
discovered Bill
honest
Burr
laugh?
during COVID. I never heard of him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's one of my, and I'm a Boston guy. So anybody that has any connection to Boston, I'm already like, I'm a fan.
Yeah, me too.
You get me.
I just went back after I left there in 1989.
Oh wow,
And
that's
I
the year
just-
I was born.
I
Me
just
too.
went back.
Boom.
Really? Well, I just went back there to Boston. First time. My son was born there. And I
Wow.
got sober there. And I got a little emotional.
That's a
coming
tough
through the
place to
tunnel.
get sober.
Yeah,
I feel
that's
like
why I left.
Yeah.
I told my wife after
Getting outta
8
here.
months, I said, if I'm going to stay sober, we got to get out of here.
Such a gritty city. It's
It
just
is.
like everyone's just white knuckling their way through the day.
Well, somebody told me, they go, how does Bill Burr think of those things? I go, you ever stand on a bus stop at 6 a.m.?
Oh,
I said,
yeah.
There's 7 Bill Burrs on every
Go to
bus
any
stop."
Dunkin' Donuts and
Yeah.
you'll get enough material for a week.
Yeah, I had an HBO guy come after watching me. I was 2 years in Boston. I did an audition for HBO in New York, and he goes, why are you Boston guys so angry? I go, you ever live in Boston?
Yeah, it's just survival.
I go, it is, yeah. I was a little cranky.
They're actually very warm and kind when you get through this tough exterior.
Well, that's it. They'll give you the shirt off your back. They'll take a bullet for you,
Yeah.
you know, and if they don't like you, they'll tell you.
They'll let you know. I
where
miss
you
that
stand.
honesty. I moved
Oh,
south
yeah.
and it's like, oh, they're nice, but like I don't trust it. You versus Boston's
Yeah.
mean and I believe it. And there's I kind of prefer the latter.
Yeah.
My best friend is from New York, and the LA anger is different than Boston, Chicago, New York anger. It's like just a different, it's kind of like a, oh, yeah, it's fine, it's great, whatever.
Like passive
And then,
aggressive.
Yeah, it's just kind of, and then there's no, and my friend, Rooney, she's the sweetest, nicest person in the world, and I've only ever known her in church small groups and at dinner. And then we go to a restaurant the first time. I've known this girl for 3 years. We go to a restaurant, we walk into this Mexican restaurant. Before the door even closes, she goes, hey, table for 3, now. And I'm like, oh, where's my sweet little Jesus-loving friend that holds me when I cry? And then she's like, we need menus. And I'm like, who are you?
It's transformed.
And I was like, and then I just kept apologizing to people. I'm sorry, she's from New York. I'm sorry, she's from New York.
Yeah,
And
she means well.
yeah, it was just like,
Gosh.
it was a different human.
I had a friend like that drove like a lunatic. One of the calmest, sanest, sweetest souls ever. Got behind the wheel of a car
Crazy.
in Chicago. It was like the French Connection.
Oh my gosh.
Get out, you know,
Yeah.
flipping people off. I go, oh my Lord.
It's stressful. It's just survival. So that's why I moved south. It was a nice change of pace. Where I was like, okay, no one's,
Right.
you know, on the brink right now.
The South is very sweet and very calm. Okay, so since moving here, you said that you like clean comedy and dirty comedy. Who are
Yeah.
your, right now, who's your clean comic and who's your dirty
Oh,
comic?
that's a good one. I mean, Derek Stroop has been the latest one where I'm like, I forgot I could laugh that hard.
Derek Stroop is going to be the next greatest, biggest Mount Rushmore, for sure.
Yeah, I saw him at Opry for the Christmas special. I was there live, and I've never gone from like, don't know who this guy is to this is my new
face
favorite.
hurts. Yeah.
Yeah, so I love Stroop. I love Rabiglia as I get more into like learning how to do storytelling. I think he's
yeah.
a great kind of one-man show. It was just I saw him live, and now his Netflix special from the same show is out. And then on the dirty side, I mean, I was a big Louis C.K. fan, and I still think he can just twist something so much that it just gets me rolling. Anthony Jeselnik, very dark.
Yeah.
But like love
Dark
the
one-liners.
once I figured him out, I was like, when you realize that everything is a joke, none of this is real. He's
Yeah.
just scientifically trying to give you a crazy twist.
My favorite Jeselnik joke, to give you a taste of what he's like, is he's like, I saw a baby in a hot car. Oh my gosh, my heart was thumping, and I started throwing rocks to save the baby, but the window was open. And it's just like that. It's constant. Yeah. One-liner misdirection, one-liner misdirection. And then Stroop is like Lewis Black meets Larry the Cable Guy.
That's a great description.
He's angry, but he's got this southern... I recently got into crock pots.
I thought we were going to have him on the podcast.
We were, and then he was all down to do it, and then I can't remember what we had to cancel for a reason.
We had to?
Yeah.
So he didn't?
So you got me.
So he's not dead to me.
He's not dead to you.
Okay.
No. He's very excited when he comes
down.
back to be on here.
He'll be a wonderful, wonderful guest.
Yeah.
See, I'm trying to think of other ones that I've been into lately. I mean, I like more cerebral comics. Even some of the like Neil Brennan, some of his specials where he's really like, this is what I've been through with my addiction and recovery, and Mulaney did a similar one with his kind of rehab.
That's one of my favorites.
Oh yeah, and Hassan Minhaj, I like his style a lot, and he has a similar. I think I'm the most similar to like the way his brain works, and so his latest one was great. Rami Youssef. Anyone who's like of any kind of Middle Eastern descent,
you're real into
with sort of like the immigrant vibe and like trying to make it. I like those kind of comics. I connect. Mo Amer is another great one there. So I really have an eclectic taste. And then Seinfeld, I still think. I mean, I saw him live, and I was like, the dude's got it. Because I thought, he never was like the best stand-up comedian ever to me. His show was legendary, but as far as his stand-up, I was like, this is really good, but it's not like a gut-busting kind of laugh.
Yeah.
And when I saw him lately, I was like, I get it now. The way he can just take the observational humor is...
He gave me the best single bit of advice I'd ever gotten.
Can you share?
Yeah.
I thought you were going to leave it.
He told him to get out of credit card debt.
Get out of credit card debt. And two things he did. We worked at college together back before his television show. And I'm walking off stage, and I had probably just quit drinking maybe 3 months early. I was not in a good place. Had my head down, I'm walking off, and he stops me, and he said, "That's for you." And I said, "What?" He goes, "That applause." He goes, "You get so much of that doesn't mean anything to you?" I don't even know what you're talking about. And I walk off. Anyway, he comes up, we're waiting for our checks, and we're chatting for like a good hour, waiting for our money. Bunch of different things. And he said to me, he goes, "Can I say something to you?" And he said, "No, don't get angry, but in all your complaints," and he goes, "and there's been a lot of them. I've never heard you complain about how hard you work on your craft." He says, "You get good at what you do, you'll never have to look for work. It's a very small business."
Wow.
And I've never forgotten it. I'd like to tell you I went home that night and just stopped complaining.
Yeah.
But every time I started to complain, I started thinking about,
that sort of float in your brain.
Just get good at what you do. Just get really good at, and the line is, just get so good at what you do that they can't ignore you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I was, talking about, I got to get on Letterman, I got to get on this, I got to get on that, I got to get this, I got to get that. And you go, whoa, just get good at what you do.
You won't have to like strive as much. Things will just start happening.
I mean, so then it became about. It really did eventually evolve into just I want to make the best product I can make with the talent that I've been given. It was never easy. I had terrible stage fright. I had self-esteem issues. All this other stuff that comes with all the baggage.
Yeah, that's normal.
Well, it is, and then to get to the point where you. It still blows me away this late in my career. I mean, I thought I blew it all. I mean, I moved here at 40. But again, we've had you and John in here, and it fires me up to be around people who just like talking process and stand up. And,
yes.
And here I thought we'd be talking
No, nobody wants to talk about that. Yeah. It's too controversial.
Well, you were
Comedy is, everyone's like, yeah, this is safe.
Talking about best advice, at Easter I told him, I was like, dude, I made all of these terrible choices. I got myself so backwards in this situation. What do I do? And he sat down with me and he was like, Carollynn, you have a bunch of hobbies. You don't have a single job. Go get a job.
Well, I told her, I said, do you want me, like, as if you were calling the Ramsey show? Because right now I can talk to you like a friend and be sweet. Or I can talk to you like if this same person was calling the show, what would I tell them?
Yeah.
So she said, no, give me the real. I said, okay.
Yeah, and he gave me the real, and I changed everything around, and now things are going up, and that's all because of you.
I can't take credit.
I'm giving you the credit.
I appreciate that. But I do like to solve. I like to solve problems because I find myself more resourceful than most, and I go, I'm just Googling it. You could have done that, but I'm happy to do it for you and look like a genius.
Yeah, but you are the Google.
I am human Google.
My son went to work for phone tech for Apple, and I said, I thought you hate Apple. He goes, that's what Google's for. He was doing phone tech for Apple, just Googling whatever problem somebody had.
That's it.
And he'd read it off of Google.
I'm going, this is how we're replacing the boomers. The boomers just don't know how to figure it out. And we're looking at ChatGPT. Here's, all right.
Yeah.
That's great.
Well, she's got me intrigued by this ChatGPT thing.
It's still terrible at jokes, if it makes you feel better. So comedians will always have a job.
It's rough. It does decent premises, but it can't flesh
Setups,
out a joke. That's for sure. Or it'll say like something obscure that maybe it's like a weird verbiage you wouldn't normally think of.
Oh, yeah.
Because like Jeff said, a thesaurus is your best friend. What has hard consonants? What's a funny word?
Just sounds funnier. Yeah.
Yeah, I bought an SAT book. One of the biggest epiphanies I ever had was I was in New York at Catch, and Bill Hicks at the time was one of the hottest comics in the world, called Ronald Reagan a capitalistic swine.
Oh,
so
that's
it's
nice.
New York, so of course they laugh and applaud. And I'm driving home. That's how long it takes me to hit. And I go, what's a capitalist? And then I realize, I go, gosh, you make your living with words. You don't even know what a what? I looked it up and I thought, well, what's wrong with that? I didn't see anything wrong with that. But again, I realized I'm an idiot. So I went out and bought a book on SAT words.
Wow.
So
Look
I
now.
became an idiot that put perfume on my idiocy. I just had bigger
helps.
words. I even wrote a joke about acquiescence.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
that's a
I
big
said
one.
I came up with a line of men's cologne. I call it acquiescence. It's for real men who know how to comply.
That's amazing.
Made with the oil of a jellyfish.
Oh my gosh. Also, can I use the restroom real quick? And
Oh, yeah.
I think I'm gonna lose it.
Really?
Yeah.
God, you're young.
I know.
You're so young.
I had to do that.
Can we
last
continue?
week.
You guys gonna continue rolling?
We can
We can-
continue,
it doesn't matter.
or
We
we can chop it up and end right now.
No. Say nice things about me. I'll be right back.
Okay.
All right.
Keep rolling.
Remember, you peed during Deloney's, and
I
now
did.
George is the peer.
Yeah, but that was at a 2-hour mark. I'm a
And
man.
he's
I can
young.
hold it for 2 hours.
We should get him a doctor.
Yeah, that's
Some
not
kind.
right. He's a young man.
He's too young for that.
Yeah, need to get your prostate checked, George. Yeah. What's a prostate?
That's what happened on Deloney's episode. And then Deloney sat in here and explained to me how a prostate works while you were peeing.
Oh, yeah, because I did. I think I made the bunt cake joke as I was leaving. Mine's the size of a bunt cake.
He was so nice about it.
Yeah.
He was so nice. You know what? I realized in this conversation, you and I are around each other all the time. We've never nerded out about comedy process together.
No, and it's funny. This one, I want to apologize to the listener. I mean, this has been about me a lot more than I need it to be.
Oh, me too, though.
But
I went way too off.
But it's interesting that he doesn't seem to want to talk about his area, of expertise.
Finance?
Yeah, finance. Yeah, I do that all the time.
You know what? When we had him in here, though, I was like, we're going to end up talking about stand-up because he loves it, and it's a break from his work. For us,
Yeah.
it's like this is our whole life, but for him, he's like, this is this thing I
Well,
love.
I love talking process. I don't talk comedy at all, ever. Brent and I don't talk about it when we travel.
Yeah. That's funny because
and I
it
get to
feels like it's
zanies.
all we talk about.
And it's funny, I get to zanies and I don't know, nobody really talks to me. So,
Yeah, you're scary to approach because you're a legend.
well, that's a nice way of saying just old.
No. It's like the same thing happens when like Nate walks in the room when like you're a younger comic and like a comic walks in. It's like the professor's here.
Oh,
I made it.
We're glad you're okay.
It's warm in here comparatively. I realized.
Yeah, it gets like that because I sweat a lot.
that's because we have a hot show.
It'll be
Yeah.
like color bars, and it'll cut back to us.
But you have to say this is your favorite podcast you've ever been.
100%. Usually, I have to like change their life, and you guys, you've already done that.
No, we're beyond redemption.
Yeah, you're screwed.
Yeah, there's no
I
help
have
in
realized
us. Financially, there's no help in
I
me.
can't help Carollynn financially anymore.
I am,
It's
You
like
know what though? In talking and realizing how dumb I am about finances, would you want to do goofy, like teaching dumb people finance content with me?
I don't think we could call it that. I think that's punching down, as comics say. But
Oh, I'm sorry, teaching retard. Would that be better?
I think it would be like if there's a comedic angle. The problem is finances get so real and so dark that it's hard to make it funny.
So
Like, if you're in like crippling debt, it's hard to be like,
I love it.
you'll never get out.
Well, Deloney has like all of this. How do I counsel people through dark times?
Yeah.
But I feel like you and Rachel and Ken and a lot of the other personalities don't. So when you come home at night, do you bring work home with you?
I think I used to, more just in my lack of attention, of just like I'm responding to DMs and people have deep financial questions. I've done a better job unplugging lately
Yeah.
from like not taking home work with me, mostly because my wife worked at Ramsey for 9 years.
Oh.
She's seen it all. She doesn't, like, hey, there was a call today, and there's not as much of that anymore.
Yeah, but you don't feel like you're not like laying in bed like, oh, she's gonna sell her horse or like.
I do, there's some calls, it's kind of like Deloney has a thing of like, you got to wash your boots off.
Yeah.
And I realized I can't carry everyone's financial burdens all day. So while there are calls that, they are heartbreaking, where you're thinking about it for a little while. But when I'm done with work, I have to just like Men in Black, it's gone.
I'm gonna break this to you softly, and I think Jeff will agree. When you make it in stand-up, in the meet and greet line, you will hear the most heartbreaking, sad stories ever that are so beautiful about how your comedy is the only thing that got them
through a really
these
hard
super dark times. And then it's like, how do you? I take it home. Do you take it home?
I've had a couple that moved me quite a bit, and I actually understand that because I used comedy as a kid. Carollynn, Steve Martin, those people, I think, to get through a pretty rough patch. So I actually understand that. And one of the stories I share in my show came out of my book was that when my father would come out of his depressive states, we would sit in the living room and listen to Cosby albums. So that's what I choose to remember about my father and my family, was those times in the living room.
That becomes a fabric of your life.
Well, that's it. That's what I choose to remember. I don't need to, I can recite some of the abuse, but what's the point in dwelling on that? My brother took the brunt of it, and it basically ruined his life because he never was able to let it go at all. So, yeah, when I hear these things, it means something to me. That they would, first of all, it means everything in the world to me that somebody would get in a car, buy a ticket, drive 30, 40 minutes. I have people driving 2.5, 3 hours to see a show. I know what it takes to get me to get in a car, get dressed, and go down and see somebody perform.
Yes.
So that means a lot to me. And although my goal is not to change people's lives, my goal is to be a distraction. That's the way I look at what I do. Look, if I can distract you for an hour and a half from your problems,
Yes.
and just give you a salve for that wound that day. I've had people come up and go, I lost my husband, and he bought us these tickets. It was the last thing he wanted.
Wow.
I had a guy die the night of my show. I got an email. I think,
That's how much you killed.
yeah.
Literally.
I shouldn't make jokes.
No,
I'm sorry.
but I met him in the elevator. He was it was in Rhode Island, and just recently, and his niece sent me a message on Messenger that said he said it was the best night of his life, and he went to sleep and never woke up that night.
Wow.
Yeah. So you think, holy cow.
Good thing you didn't bomb.
Well, that was it. Yeah,
He was gonna die either way.
I know. And then you get to, I got to blame myself for that.
No, but that's a good summary. Because because my job is to like help
Fix.
transform your life and fix it. I like leaning into comedy as just a distraction. The pressure's off instead of helping you dig into your life. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, hey, let's make fun of my life for a little bit and make fun of this crapshoot of a world we live in. You know, I like that vibe of comedy.
Well, it's also realistic because the world could do with, if I died tomorrow, I mean, I always said John Belushi died, comedy didn't stop. You know, they just, what did Mark Twain say? At your funeral, they lament you for an hour and forget you for a lifetime.
Oh, that's good.
And I was talking to my granddaughter. We were at the table and we brought up, I forget what the actor's name was, but she goes, I never heard of him. And I go, look at that. 2 generations completely devoid.
That's all it took.
It was a huge star. And
To vanish.
I want to say it's like Tom Cruise or somebody. And she goes, who's that? And you go, I mean, that's how quick they forget you.
Yeah.
So to have an ego in that somehow the world couldn't survive without you in this business is a false impression that
Yeah.
you've given yourself.
No, that's true. I do. What was the thing? Deloney's called the comedians, modern prophets. I'm curious, from my end, because you're saying, what do I take it home with me? I tend to take the critics home more than the accolades. I don't know if that's just how I'm wired, the cynicism or whatever. But I do wonder. Like I have told people, I read the comment section because you're never as amazing as the best comment. You're never as worst as terrible as the worst comment. And I think that levels me out somehow. I don't know the science behind it, but it like keeps you humble, grounded, and it like gets you take the truth out of the criticism and go, okay, I can work on it. There's truth to that.
Yeah, I have a 3
I want to be
rule.
healthy enough to
If I hear
do
the
that.
same criticism 3 times, I'll look at the routine. I will look at it. And I also trust my wife's instinct. She'll say that's over the top.
Yeah, there's people you love that you trust their criticism.
Yeah, I had
then
one
there's the
online
random
the other day
YouTube
they
comment.
posted about we're told to forgive and forget. I said, I never forgive, but I always forget. So you ever run into people you just have a problem with, but you can't remember where you met? You go, it's probably one of those people. And it's just, anyway, some
It's a
woman
healthier
wrote,
approach.
not funny, sorry. And I wrote her back. I said, don't apologize. It's not one of my favorites either.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I was
didn't
just
like you after
yeah,
that.
it was just funny. One of either you or Joseph found it and posted it. It was in a set I did somewhere. We're just putting content out.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was one of the new bits that I was working on, and I just realized, you know what? I don't like talking about not forgiving. I mean, forgiving is such a cornerstone of our faith that it bothered me to say that. I never forgive.
Yeah.
No, that's the one thing I got from my relationship with Christ I'm able to forgive, and that was a huge gift because I can move on.
Instead of carrying that.
Right? Yeah.
I found the ones that the critics that have the truth to say, I'm like, okay, he's got a point. Cool. Then the ones that have nothing good to say that don't even know me, I can let go of those
absolutely.
more easily.
Yeah.
But I realize they're
suck
hurting.
is not it's not a constructive
and
criticism.
it's the whole like hurt people.
Right.
So what I realized with the trolls is like, oh my gosh, like they really hate their life, and I just happen to be the fastball that showed up in their algorithm.
I don't look at any of the comments.
Never?
Never. I don't touch them. If you see anyone that's responded or anything that's happened, that's not.
Do you want to go
doing it.
read some comments from your latest post to let
No,
you know
thank
what's
you.
going on?
No, thank you. I don't.
Tammy's bothered more by the negative than I am.
Yeah, they're really hurtful. And also, my fear is, one, that I'll start to believe what the negative people say about me, which isn't true. Or worse, I'll start to believe what the good people say about me, and that's way more horrifying.
Oh, so you're on the whole opposite side of the spectrum from me.
Yeah, I've actually removed social media from my phone completely. And I like to just operate in the world. Like when I'm clocked in, like right now we're clocked in. When I'm making a video, I'm clocked in. But otherwise, I'm just a regular person. And I'm not going to even live in that space. Because I used to live in it too much.
Yeah, it was just messing with your headspace.
Yeah, well, it's like it's hard.
Well, sometimes they help. I got a comment. I was doing this.
Oh,
Not
yeah.
nervous
aware of
tick?
it. Not aware of it. I have all kinds of nervous ticks. Anyway, guy said, Jeff's using again. I know cocaine addicts, and I know he's using again. And I wrote him back. I said, I can guarantee I'm not using. But I started watching some videos. I'm going, my God, I do go to my nose a lot. So anyway, it was helpful.
Yeah.
Because I started catching myself in the middle of the show. I'm moving my
He
hand
had the wrong
up, and I go,
conclusion, but...
yeah, exactly. But he was right. I mean, if I saw a friend of mine on stage doing this, I'd call him. I'd go, if I knew he was an addictive cocaine addict, like me. But yeah, I saw sometimes the comments. I would never comment on another artist's nervous tics.
That's what I realized. I was talking to Rachel on Smart Money Happy Hour. I said, "Do you know any of your friends that have ever left a YouTube comment?" And she's like, "No." It's like, yeah, I don't like. Who are these people?
Yeah.
Like, that's a special breed who's like lives in the comment section anonymously for good or bad comments.
Well, which is why you'll get 10,000 likes and 7 comments. Most people don't comment.
Yeah. And the ones that do,
look
it's like
at that,
customer
though.
service. They only have negative things to say.
I look at the analytics because it's really with social media, it's just a numbers game.
Yeah.
So I'll look at like the analytics, and of course it's low-hanging fruit. Like I know if I do a recovering Californian video, of course it's gonna
do better.
It's gonna get shared a bunch.
And if you do a video about my book, it's gonna tank.
That is not true.
Let's test it.
He's got a book.
You should do a video about it.
Yes.
This book changed my life.
We didn't realize. I know he's
Carollynn
a Ramsey
Xavier's
guy.
book
He was
club.
saving money by not bringing one in. I guess we got to buy one.
That's
to
true.
get
I didn't
it
know.
up on
No
the
one
shelf.
told me. I thought that feels self-promoting. Feels kind of gross on Jeff Allen's show to be bringing your own book, like QVC.
You're supposed to do that though. I think, right?
That's fine.
Right.
I like to downplay it to where they're curious. Like, wow, this guy really doesn't want us to buy the book. What's in this book? I got to check it out.
Yeah.
See that you're learning from one of the best.
What can
my
I
gosh.
say?
Okay, so where can people find you? Do you want me to say it or you want to say it?
You could guess.
The Dave Ramsey Show.
That's the wrong title, but okay.
The Show of Ramsey.
It's just the Ramsey Show. We changed it.
Oh, the Ramsey.
They wanted to get away from just Dave because we're now all co-hosts.
Ramsey Solutions, Lampo Group,
Incorporated.
Dave's Superpower
LLC.
Show, LLC. And Smart Money Happy Hour.
Yes.
George
That's
Kamel?
the funniest show. If you want a funny show, Smart Money Happy Hour, I co-host with Dave's daughter, Rachel. And we have a drink or a mocktail, and it's very funny. And it mostly ties to money somehow. We land the plane.
Yeah, they land the plane. They'll be in recovery soon. I'm excited for them.
Yes.
Reach out to us when you're ready. And then the George Kamel podcast.
Yes. That's mainly a YouTube channel. It's also on Spotify and Apple. And that's where I do like 10-minute deep dives 3 times a week on what's going on in the world, trends I'm seeing, reacting to things, helping you distill financial advice out there.
But my favorite thing he does that I actually haven't seen in a while, but it could be because my YouTube, is he does cars and comedians getting coffee, except it's him in the cars with millionaires talking money.
Oh wow.
Latest one was with Deloney. It was our longest episode ever, as you guys experienced with him. He has many words. It was like a 53-minute episode of us in the car. I'm surprised that Tesla
That's
made
a
it.
lot of gas. Oh, a Tesla.
Yeah. And we shared the famous story of Deloney pushing my car because I had to go pick him up in New Brunswick or wherever he lives, and it ran out of juice because I wasn't planning on picking him up, but he couldn't get a ride to the Blink 182 show.
New Brunswick, but he lives like out by where you live, that house, right?
Is it? Is that where he lives?
Yeah.
I mean, all I know is like I went under a troll bridge where it's like one lane, there's like a mirror, and I was like, "Am I in Narnia?" I thought that I heard banjos at one point. I was like, I don't like this.
Yeah.
They don't like electric cars out here. I'll tell you that much. Oh my goodness.
That's what I told Reno. We had Reno Collier on the show, and Reno's going to play golf with me, and he lives way away from where we're going to play golf. And I said, just drive till you hear banjos and take a rest.
Now I want a new show with Jeff called Taking a Swing.
Oh, that would
What
be
do you
great.
think? Taking a swing. We're on the course, and it's us. We're trying to pitch jokes to you.
That would be great. I would anything that gets me on a golf course. I'm in.
That's what I'm saying. Just mic us up, and I'll just pitch jokes to him.
Yeah, you golf? Oh, poorly.
I would
think we
with you
discussed
for
that.
a show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to use Sharon Ramsey's clubs because she was about my height, and I got. They were when I tell you.
10,
Yeah.
11?
I don't know. You're just saying numbers now. I think they're
My
golf related.
granddaughter's 11 years old. She's 5'7".
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're about the same height, but her clubs were. When I tell you they were
just thought
covered
I'd
in dirt.
Stick one in before we left.
3 hours, I hit air and dirt for 3 hours. My arms, I couldn't move. So the clubs were covered in dirt, and Dave's like, "Hey, don't worry about it." So he takes them, he's wiping them all off.
Yeah.
All I'm like, "This is a nightmare. I'm going to get fired."
That is like
a disaster.
Almost the equivalent of washing a disciple's feet.
Yes, that's how it felt.
Cleaning an employee's clubs, man.
Yep.
That says a lot about Dave.
And they were obviously nice clubs.
That's impressive.
Yeah, there were some nice Callaways or whatever the kids do these days.
Guarantee if Dave and I played, he wouldn't clean my clubs.
No. Well, you wouldn't be hitting as much dirt as I was.
Well, that's true.
I created more divots than any man should create.
Yeah.
But
You and Dave should do an episode because, like, he went, like, golfing in, like, Scotland or something.
yeah.
Like,
Love
they're
Scotland.
all in.
he just
Yeah.
went to Augusta?
Yeah, they're like.
Yeah, he's
all
at, I think
on
he's in
golf.
Pebble Beach as we speak.
I went to Pebble last week.
You could have run into each other.
Probably
That's
not. It was
wild.
6:40 in the morning.
That's probably
He's
when
probably
he's out there.
staying at the lodge, which is.
He's the guy
was
who
out
wants
of
the
my
earliest
price
tee
range.
time to avoid the crowds. You know what I mean? So I think you guys are kindred spirits.
Yeah, it
That's
was.
smart.
I wanted to know. I don't know if we do this on the show, but do you guys ever like give us a joke you're working on?
Oh.
Like you got something cooking?
Is there something you have cooking?
I just like it feels very like insider for Jeff to be like, hey,
Workshopper.
I'm working on a new.
Well, I have one that since I have not worked in 3 weeks, I voluntarily, for the first time in my career,
This is a
took
hiatus.
A month off. This is the only work I've been doing for a month.
No writing, no performing.
Oh no! Well, the writing, I've just. It's interesting. We were talking, and I think it was John Deloney that talked about. I want to get the name of the book that talked about your brain at the age of, in your 60s stops. You can't keep creating throughout your entire life.
Yeah, it was Strength to Strength with Arthur
Right.
Brooks. He
Maybe
mentioned that
was
one.
it. Yeah. So maybe that was it. But for the first time in my entire career, I've been buying material from a writer out in L.A.
Oh.
And Carolynn's been helping me. So it's interesting to get other people's points of view, and then I got to twist around and make it my point of view.
It's like it's a good joke.
Because everything
It seems
I
to be
do
more
is for,
authentic.
so anyway, but the one I did come up with that I'm working on that worked the last Monday I did was my wife went out of town for 10 days and she had these 6 hanging plants on the porch and she said, could you water these? Make sure you water these every day. I said, yeah, I can handle that. She said, just grab a dog food dish and put one each 6 times a day. That's it, 1 dog food dish a day. I go, no problem. So day 10, she calls. She says, I'm on my way home. I said, where are you at? She said, I'm about 4 hours out. Right before she hangs up, she says, how are my plants? I go, they're fine. And I grabbed all 6 of these. They were it looked like someone took a blowtorch to them. Oh my gosh. Took all 6 of them up to Lowe's in my truck. And I said, well, what were those? So now I got like
Replace them.
family of 5. I got 5 so-called plant experts at Lowe's. I got everybody out of the garden area to come out. So anyway, she gets home, and there's these 6 hanging plants dripping with water. They're plush. They're beautiful. And she gets out of her car, and she goes, when did they die? I go, what? She says, they're not even close to what I had. I go, that's what Lowe's told me. So anyway, then Carollynn gives me the line. She says, well, it's a good thing, she goes, it's a good thing I didn't let you watch the grandkids, as if I'd,
That's brilliant.
she'd walk through the door to be, hola, mi abuela. Hola, mi abuela. I go, what? She goes, when did they die? I go, no, you can't. These look just like our kids.
We've been doing Duolingo all week.
Yeah, so anyway.
Oh, that's a great
That was
joke.
the began with the premise. I wonder if that'll connect, and that was the one that connected with the fact
Taking
that
care of the house
most
plants.
people could remember. Yeah, then I torched.
I love the twist of bringing in the Spanish grandkid.
Yeah.
So funny. Spanish was his line. I was just grandkids. I
Yeah,
was just
just the
killing
grandkids.
kids. That's what
We
I
didn't
brought
have an
to
It
Asian
was very yes and. Very
we did
yes
have an
and.
Asian grandkid.
Yeah, I
I
said
gotta,
Asian.
I gotta join this writer's room. It's very intriguing to me.
Yeah. What are you working on? What jokes are you working on? Well, when's your next comedy gig?
I am on a hiatus
Nice.
because we are moving, and so
building a house,
showings and
Thompson
building a
Station.
house like in Thompson Station.
Oh my gosh.
And
that's
so it's been
beautiful.
very
There's
stressful
a great restaurant there that we
Circa?
Circa, yes.
It's the only one
That's it.
in Thompson Station. So.
Yes, we've eaten
Yeah,
there.
that's a great spot. So yeah, that's been very stressful. So my wife was like, "Hey, you've been doing a lot of these like random comedy things. Can you just like
Pump the brakes.
pump the brakes? We got a lot going on for you to be gone on a random Tuesday night, you know."
I'm a big
But-
history nerd, and so I'm like such a history buff. So 1819 Coffee.
Yep.
I don't know the owner super well. I met him once at a party. He was very nice. And he has said to me, and I've never done it, but I will totally do it with you and Whitney. He was like, you can get a full tour of the coffee shop, which is this old home.
Historic
And
building.
you can go upstairs and you can still see bullets and Civil War stained blood hardwood floors from when they had to turn it into a hospital, a makeshift hospital during the Civil War.
Oh, wow.
And he wanted to put walking paths all around the coffee shop, but they can't dig because every time they go to dig, they find like Civil War bodies, like memorabilia,
Holy
all
cow.
of this kind of wild stuff. And extra nerd, it's 1819 coffee. I thought it was like a year,
Yeah.
but I think it's Proverbs 1819.
Oh,
And I
that makes
think
sense.
if I remember right, I had this conversation with this gentleman like 3 years ago. I think it's where two or more are gathered. I think it might be in that vein.
One of those.
Maybe that part is in the gospel. It's not in Proverbs, so I might be messing it up. But that's why he has benches all over the coffee shop. And if you're alone and you go sit on a bench, they have trained employees that will go sit with you and pray with you if you want for a coffee
Wow.
shop. And they don't like advertise it, but it's so beautiful that there's just this like kind of quiet
Low-key mission.
ministry, happening
I love
there. It's
that.
really beautiful.
That's great.
Well, I'll give you my joke now. You ready for it? You ready for it?
I thought you were on a hiatus.
Okay, there's no joke. Maybe you can come up with the punchline. But I was at my
He'll come up with a punchline. He's the funny one.
She'll come up with one, but it'll be twisted.
So I was at my grandma's funeral this weekend in Boston. That's why I was there. God rest her
I'm
soul.
already cracking up. Well, I'm 69 years old. I don't like talking about death and funerals. I really don't.
Too close to home.
Close to home.
Too close to heaven for you.
Yeah, I know how many days I have left.
I feel like there's a great dark. I like the dark twists.
Have you thought about your funeral? What do you want?
Yeah, I don't.
Do you want it? First of all, do you want to be cremated or do you want to be put in a box and dropped in the dirt?
I think I like the box move.
Tam and I are having these discussions.
I want proof that I ever
Well,
existed.
legitimately, we're having these discussions.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know this.
She wants to be cremated. I said, I don't know. I can handle being cremated, but I want a place where you can come and sit in a chair and talk to me.
Oh yeah.
I've seen it in movies. I've never done it.
You can still get a headstone and be cremated.
Well, that's it. That's all.
Yeah.
I don't care. You know, I'm gone.
Well, my big question was, how do I know Grandma's even in there? I haven't seen her. Who's got eyes on her?
Right.
Are they running a scam? But then I found out she got buried right above my grandpa.
Really?
And so to her very last day, she was smothering that poor man. Sad.
That's the
Good.
joke.
There it
That's
is.
where the joke
But
is.
that was, I didn't know they could stack them like that.
I didn't either.
You can get buried together and
I
just
have
have
one
them
family
stacked.
member stacked 3 high.
That feels
Really?
Yeah.
So how deep? They got to go
That's
18 feet deep?
I don't know. It's well, this is kind of dark, but I had 2 young cousins die in a house fire. So they put them on top of an already existing relative, and then I had another young cousin who died from cancer, and then another cousin who took her life. And so they were able. A lot of the times when
This is the first I'm hearing of this. I did not know that they were allowed to stack.
Yeah. Well, every state has different cemetery laws. So I think in all 50 states now you have to have what is it called? Help me out here. The vault. So it doesn't sink as the wood in the body rots.
there's
ground
like a
doesn't sink.
cement.
Yeah. So you have
block
a
in there.
vault. But states didn't used to do that. And a lot of people believe, like in specific religions, that you don't want to have a vault because you want the body to go back, like dust to dust, dirt to dirt. You want the body to rot and go back and not be preserved in any type of way with like embalming
Yeah.
and all that other kind of stuff. And, you know, body farms where they, I'm running this so long, I'm so sorry.
You know way too much about, like, it's worrisome.
Body farms started in Tennessee in Franklin.
Wow.
Look at
All
that.
I know is my wife said she wants, and I have to promise that she sits in the back seat, even if I get a new girlfriend.
Oh, wow.
She goes wherever we go, you know.
I like that.
I told her, I go, I don't know if I can promise that. She goes, then, I don't know, you may be dead to me. I want that promise. That I will take her. So anyway, I get my new girlfriend. I go, don't worry, that's Tam. You know, she just likes to go on trips.
Have you seen in other countries where they embalm them so much that they almost look like a wax museum, and then at the funeral they set them in a scene?
No.
That's in like a lot of.
Well, Well, that was my buddy Kenny had a great thing. He said, I just want to sit in a chair with one of those laugh tracks
Yeah.
and just with a beer in my hand.
Yes.
Just rocking back and forth,
Yeah.
laughing with my friends. You know?
I do want to request, instead of eulogies, that's just a roast of me. I would prefer, like, that's a...
Yeah,
Oh,
I don't
that's
want
funny.
I don't want people to mourn, you know?
Yeah.
I don't, not that they would. I mean, I'm not going to be around.
I mean, I'd like them to be extremely sad, but then they can roast me.
Yeah.
Like, you get a tear shed, you can get up
sad.
to the mic.
Extremely.
Yeah, I don't want any nice stories about me.
Oh
That's not
my
how you want to
gosh.
go.
This was so much fun.
This was a blast. Thank you guys for having me. I don't think this is how you wanted it to go.
This
I
is
don't think
exactly-
it did. I completely went, and again, I blame myself. I'm in a really crappy place, so
Yeah.
I just felt like.
Well, I heard
talking.
about your golf game.
That has nothing to do with it.
Oh, okay.
I just think I've been off work for 3 weeks, and I think I called my manager the other day and said, "Do I still have a career?" And he starts laughing.
You're
He
losing
goes,
your mind after
3
being
weeks.
gone for 3 weeks.
Yeah, 3 weeks. I mean, it's like
Has the world forgotten about
I know.
me?
Well, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. And I know June 14th I'm going to be in Naples, Florida, and I'll see if I can still make people laugh.
So if you still got it.
Still the back of my
Okay.
head.
I'm hoping you'll let us keep this in because this is a true comic. This is what it is every single day.
Existential crisis.
I need a break. I need a break. I need a break. If I don't get on stage, I'm no one.
Right.
Yeah, most people go, a few weeks out of the office was really good for me. I'm refreshed.
I had a great vacation. I played Pebble Beach, Poppy Hill, Spyglass. I played some world-class Bandon Dunes. I mean, I had a dream vacation. And we've gotten back, and I'm just, okay, I'm ready to go.
I gotta
now.
go.
There's
I gotta
a
go.
comedy
And,
show
and
pulling
Tammy,
your
my
heart.
wife, takes that personally, like, you don't want to be around me. I go, that's not it. We have lived the life. When COVID hit, 30 days in, she goes, welcome home. I go, what do you mean? She goes, you have not been home 30 consecutive days in our marriage. Wow. So up until 2020, I had not been home 30 days. And now I just voluntarily took off 30, turns out to going to be almost 40 days.
Wow.
And Jesus, I don't know how Jesus
40
did
days
it.
in the
40
wilderness.
days in the wilderness.
That's Jeff.
He's going, I got to get back out. I got to talk to some people.
Yeah.
You know, you're fine, Jesus. No, I'm not. You know.
That's probably why he was out there doing so many miracles and sermons. He was just itching to get back out there.
Get
He's
out
doing a
there.
hot
Stay sharp.
five.
He was-
Yeah, gotta get. So anyway, I just booked Zany's Monday, not this Monday.
Oh,
not today,
nice.
but next Monday.
Is it their New Material Monday? What
New
is
Material Monday? And then I don't know if
Maitland?
they'll hire me for the lab anymore. I've never really done a set for the lab. I just read
Really?
off a piece of paper. Yeah.
That's
I
all
didn't
I did is
realize
the
that's
lab.
the one
it?
that.
I'm nervous to do the main room. of
That's why I
Zany's
almost
effort.
gave them their money back the last time because it was really I felt like I really didn't give. Well, actually, the flower thing worked, so they got at least one
They got one good bit.
2-minute segment they can.
Was that New Material Monday, though?
Yeah, on Monday, but that was the lab.
Nateland.
Oh,
They record
yeah.
it.
Yeah,
and
New
then
Material Monday. I don't. I sit on a stool and read.
Yeah.
You know,
New Material Monday is a tough room.
it is.
Yeah,
That's-
who's
it's so
showing
funny
up to
'cause
that?
The
It's
one night
diehard comedy fans.
the one night I did there, and I got applause on something, and somebody said, "Holy cow, you got applause on New Material Monday." I go. I was new to New Material Monday. Didn't know that was, and then the next 2 Mondays I completely tanked.
Oh, no.
It was miserable.
Well, you got so much in
I
the
had
tank.
flop sweat, and I never get flop sweat.
Wow. Plus, you could do old material and
Yeah,
pitch
but I
it
don't
like
want
you.
to do that.
He's better
That
than
defeats,
Fool 'em.
defeats the whole point of
But
New
if you
Material Monday.
circle all the way back to your very first joke,
But I think I'd feel
restart your
worse
career.
if I did old material and it bombed.
Oh,
than
that's
doing the new
true.
stuff. And
then you'd really feel like a
but
dinosaur.
there's this thing when I'm driving back. I have to call my manager every time I'm driving back, and he has to tell me I'm good at what I do because I'm telling him I just tanked again. New Material Monday.
Wow.
You know? But
Beautiful.
the last time I did, it was funny because one of my friend's son, who's a musician, was in the audience, and he texted me on my way home. He goes, "Loved a lot of that new stuff, you know." So anyway, it reads differently, and it's years ago when I was a little kid, I played the guitar at a thing, and I messed up, and I made sure the audience knew that I knew I messed up, and my mother said to me, "Nobody knew you messed up but you."
Oh.
So it's like.
It's a good reminder.
What I tell myself is that they don't know how many lines you've forgotten. You know, the key is to just deliver everything with the same amount of confidence, and that's where the memory part comes in for me. And I just why I have to get back to work because I got the dry bar special and I got to put 25 minutes together, and that's going to take a long time of repetition of getting whatever those 10 or 15
Steep deadline.
new things. Yeah, I do better though with deadlines. When I wrote my book,
It helped have
when
a
I had,
forced
it helped.
guardrail
It did. I mean,
for a creative mind.
it was a 10-year process on my own, and then it became a 6-month process because it was a deadline.
Wow. Well, I hope we can all do a show together and bomb.
I'm really glad you got to experience Between Two Comics Minds.
I
That's
love
our
it.
new podcast name, Between the Minds of Two Comics.
Yeah, because I'll
This
tell you,
was
I
so
feel
fun.
bad. You can come back. We didn't really get to know you that well.
No, I'd love to come back eventually. Let's circle back once you have, some other big time guests. You can kind of fall back on me if someone drops out.
To me, you are big time.
Derek Stroop drops out. I'm always here.
To me, you're very big
Deloney
time.
can't make it. I'm here.
I asked you before Deloney.
Yes, take that. No, it really was an honor. I love talking with you guys. It's an honor to be here.
And you can see him on
Anything Ramsey
on the
Solutions.
anything on Ramsey.
You won't find the
Solutions.
comedy out there. We made sure to bury that, so don't look for jokes, but find great financial advice.
Oh my gosh. You guys, like, subscribe, leave angry comments. Say, hey, why? We love angry comics. Tell George why he should absolutely quit comedy because he has a wife and children and insurance.
And he has dignity and self-respect.
And
I got too much going for me to be
yeah,
doing
he
this.
has two. Look at that hair. All right. I'm the host, and look at me, and those guys look great.
Yeah, I have no hair. Yes, and hit the button, whatever it is. And,
Love you guys.
Hit all the
love you
buttons.
guys. We'll see you next week.
God bless.